Oh, there's actually patch notes for Carl. Rocket Barrage plus coil gun, but the other way. Alright. You say so? I don't see what's the other way about this. Not much fun ahead. Phantom burst missiles and lead spray. Okie dokie. Right, this is the part of me never ever gonna take away from me. You sing your own kind of music, sing your own special song, sing your own kind of music, sing your own special song.
a billion every year. You know, suck that,
Yeah,
Harry.
but I'm on track.
But you feel bad now.
Everyone,
on track
Tom's
to get
bragging
it.
about a job he doesn't have.
Yeah.
If by on track you mean like you're
Like 5 years
about to
away,
get
yeah.
on, about to get on the train.
There's a lot of time
it'll
for you
take
to, you
5
know,
years,
crash
and anything can
and fall
happen.
off.
Like, yeah, and the track might take you elsewhere at some point. You have no idea. Yeah.
At least I'm probably gonna get my very valuable.
You're
Yeah,
what?
you're almost at the end of
Nothing.
your journey.
Didn't say anything.
Yeah. You're almost at the end of the journey. It was a very long journey, and where you're going to end up is going to be a shithole.
Well, it's
Well,
not long.
no, it's
not
going
a
to
long
be in the
journey.
exact same place you started. It's
ju-
it's a round
just
journey.
It's just done a big loop, but now he has a medal.
So congrats for sitting on the
Yeah.
train.
Gets off
Come
the
again
train, they give him
soon.
a medal, and then he just goes home and, back where he started. But now he has a shiny new medal to show that he went on the
A
train.
little piece of paper certificate.
Yeah. And I'm sure you learned lots of valuable things. Like, that you could probably tell us, like, I'm sure you've learned lots and lots of things.
That's
Well,
actually
okay,
something.
I mean,
Hold on.
it's not. No, hold on. It's not because it's not like completely wrong.
No, I said
But
hold on
remember, I'm a fucking retard who can't explain anything. So, what are the chances I'm actually going to be able to recite anything I've learned?
All right. Well, I'll book check you. The Starfield has like real books in it because it's like actually real.
Yeah, but does it though?
Which
Real
is
books.
yeah. It's got like you can just stumble across like Dracula and like that. It doesn't have the whole book. It has
The
like
Dracula.
like part of it, and then it's like the rest. Like the S brackets, like the rest of the book. But there's a book called David Copperfield, and I thought it was like about David Copperfield.
No, he's a guy in the book, right?
You know more than I did. Yeah, it's apparently Charles Dickens.
Yes.
It's a book, and it's like about a grown man looking back on his life and all the events that shaped him. That's what's in the brackets. at the bottom.
So basically, I wouldn't be able to. I wouldn't
is
have been able
that-
to tell you that, by the way. But I do. That is
Yes.
all familiar.
Yeah. Is David Copperfield not his real name, and like, or is that just a coincidence?
A coincidence.
A little coinky dink.
Why would it? What? Why would it be? Well, not be his real name? Whose real name?
David Copperfield.
David Copperfield being the character in the book.
No, the magician.
I feel like that's not a real person.
Did he? What?
Is David Copperfield actually a real person?
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
like a
American magician. Yeah, I think it's completely separate. Unless
It is.
Unless the magician named himself, okay, his real name's David Seth Kotkin. Might have,
Maybe it's a.
he might have got that from somewhere. He might
have potentially.
Might have to do with the book.
Yeah,
do.
could
He's got
do.
a fucking big ass Wikipedia page. This is stupid. I don't think any magician should have this much information about him. Sexual assault allegations. Earnings.
What a legend.
He earned $57 million in 2004 and 2005. Good for him.
Interessant.
Guinness World Records for the most magic shows performed in a year, most tickets sold worldwide by a solo entertainer, highest career earnings as a magician, largest international television audience for a magician, highest annual earnings for a magician, largest Broadway attendance in a week, largest magic work archive, most expensive poster depicting magic sold at auction, largest illusion ever staged.
Is he more popular?
Magic
He
Mike
a magician.
is a movie. It's not
Oh, I
real.
thought it was a guy. Magician
Nope.
Michael.
Nope. I like the fact that magic isn't short for magician.
Hey, Tyler, did you know that your middle name is Michael?
Often no. I need very prompt reminding.
Harry, can you fix your mic?
Ah,
How does
It's
Tyler open mic? Let's do so.
what?
Well,
See, mine isn't going.
That's true, actually.
Just Harry's.
I've just been hearing.
And mine only flares up sometimes when Harry's in the fucking party. It breaks mine.
It's that bad.
Because when we were just in the
like
party,
you with
like,
games.
it wasn't. Mine was fine, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. I don't know. I just stopped paying attention. To be honest, I just stopped. I just completely fucking zoned out.
Whoa!
I don't give a shit.
Yeah. Harry needs a new fucking mic or something. Michael. Harry needs a new Michael.
Well,
No, I didn't.
unfortunately, not,
My
because
Michael's fine.
the reason why I don't need, well, I probably do need a new mic, but the reason why I
Hey,
can't
hey,
because I use
do I sound
earphones and it's
like
probably
yours?
not going to get better. What? No,
Oh.
anything sound better.
Oh. What about now?
I mean, that's probably not true, but you don't sound noticeably different.
Do I sound good?
Yeah, sound really crisp.
Do I? Yeah, crisp was the word I was gonna say.
Oh my god, that reminds me of that tweet I saw earlier. It said, Osama bin Laden's such a crispy name, you knew he was going to do something. Thanks for that. Really cool. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's more sensitive than the other one. And there's like no foreskin on it, so it's
That's
just
what I
raw.
was going to make. I was going to say something about phalluses.
Irrelevant to the topic at hand, or you just wanted to talk about penises?
No, it's because you said it's sensitive. I was going to say, yeah, my penis is sensitive. That's what I was going to say.
Well, I'm glad you got
And that
to
would
say
be
it.
it. That would be the whole. That would be the whole shtick. My
whole
penis
joke.
is touchy. It's advanced level humour. Also, Tom, the echoing.
What? What? Tom's echoing?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but I only do it with fucking you, Harry, because your mic breaks mine.
Fix your
somehow.
fucking mic, Tom.
I have.
Have you? That's for us to decide.
He hasn't.
There is a very, very faint echo. It's getting loud. Ah!
Ah!
It only echoed you, Tyler.
Hello?
Like,
I'm
Tyler
so
goes
loud
silent,
that
and
it's
Harry.
picking me up again.
Hello?
My mic only echoes when you say stuff. Like, Tyler will be quiet and Harry make noise, and I'll go quiet.
Hello?
Sorry. Oh.
I think it's I think it's all Tyler actually. I think he's like manipulating us.
Then mine's echoing with Harry as well now. It's not.
No, it's,
fucking-
is it? Yeah, a little bit.
Mine just echoed when you were saying stuff.
Oh dear.
It's just you, Harry. It's all you.
What do you mean?
But yours is obviously echoing the worst.
Now it's not.
This is not fucking. I don't know. Fucking.
It's really
break.
rude for one, not for you with you, isn't it, Thomas? Harry's mic echoes. Fix it immediately. Fuck you, fuck off.
Why? Because
Your
mine
mic
isn't
echoes.
broken.
Aw. Aw.
Mine are
Harry's
broken.
mic's not
Harry's
broken,
in the
it's
fucking
just shit.
party.
Coping so hard. It's like Harry broke my mic. What? What? What do you mean?
Yeah, well, me and Tyler are just in the party. It doesn't fucking echo. It only echoes when it's you in the party as well.
Yeah, but that's not possible.
Well, it is.
No, it's not.
It is.
We seem to be at an impasse.
And past these nuts.
Hmm.
Maggot.
Hey, That's not very nice.
That's not very nice.
It's not very nice. It's not how we do business.
Booyah! I got one of the annoying bugs. Every larva killed is one less infected griffin.
Starfield is a lot more fun when it's not most of the planets. Like, because I've just found a planet with like actual life on it, and it's quite nice. Like, it's pretty cool. There's like things on it, but it's not always that. Be nice. If it was
Okay.
always that.
But would there be any
It's
point in it
more
always
often
being
that.
that?
Well, a little bit more, wouldn't it? Because they went with the realism side of things, where, you know, like it can only sustain life if it could sustain life.
Yeah.
Which is obviously not that many planets.
No.
And there's a lot of desolate shitholes, which there's some things that surprise me and like quite pleasantly. Like the fact that you can actually land like anywhere on a planet, I find pretty cool.
Yes, I noticed that. I also noticed, the ship's kind of useless, right? Because it's literally just for when ship combat happens. That's it. Otherwise, it's just the method of fast travel. That's it. That's all the ships are. You don't land them manually, and you don't move between systems manually either. You just use the map.
I don't even think I need to get back into the ship to leave. I think I can just pull out the map and just like teleport to like any fucking planet in the universe, and I wouldn't even have to like approach my ship. I'm not sure, but I do it anyway because of No Man's Sky. But yeah. I also, and this does not surprise me, I fucking hate ship combat. I hate it in No Man's Sky. Hate it in this. It's just you just spend all of the time like looking for the enemy. Like just like you can see them, they're like up.
That
so you're
is-
turning up.
I'll
and you're
admit
turning up.
that's the trend with ship combat. I almost was like, I wasn't going to ask what's wrong with you, but it was going to be something like, you know, what is it about ship combat that somehow is it just your brain just can't accept being in a spaceship? But no, that is a thing. Literally every game where there's been any game with aerial combat, that is a thing. That is always the case.
I recently, like, because I basically I literally like I've been in the ship like or like done stuff in space like all of like a couple of times. And it was like nothing, but then I found like an entire like side quest that was literally just ship combat. It was like 7 ship combat flights, and it was like a whole thing. And so I had to kind of figure it out because I kept dying because I was really shit at it because I'd never done it really much and I didn't like it. And going into third person on a ship is very preferable because you can actually like see the enemy more than just an arrow.
I like
so
both.
If you
most
just
things. I spend
turn more.
well when it comes to vehicle stuff, when you can change the view, the vehicle stuff. I constantly change between them because I mean it's always easier in third person, but first person is sometimes neat. Seeing the inside of a ship as you're flying it, and it does the thing that I really wanted it to do, which was like, you know, the redirecting power and things like that, and it's pretty simple as well.
Yeah,
you just
I
move
kind of like it.
D-pad left and right and then up and down to like allocate power, and it's like that's pretty comprehensive.
like right now, I'm kind of like, because when I was doing all that, I'm like, what do I want in a ship now then? Because I dabbled slightly in like making a ship. I'm not really making it, like improving my current one, because I needed more cargo. Like that's just a fact. Like I have too much of a hoarder to deal with not much cargo. And I upgraded it by like 1,000, and it's still enough. Like not enough. I've like capped it out again.
Oh, is the Frontier, is that your ship the whole time?
You can buy a new ship like almost as soon as you can afford one.
Okay.
Like, I haven't, but yeah, you can like customize it as well. Like you can tear it apart and rebuild it.
I want
Add segments, which is what I've done.
All things, but I don't feel like I haven't gotten anywhere yet in the game. Full.
Yeah,
Whatsoever.
you kind of got to build stuff up. It seems like you're gonna need a lot of money for a ship. Like, each part is at least a couple thousand, which luckily the economy in this game is pretty fucking fluid. Like you reach 100k like pretty damn quick.
Yeah, I noticed that some stuff is like really valuable already. Stuff I've got.
Yeah, which I think, because I assume there's going to be a bunch of like post-launch balances and that. There are like the side quests, not a side quest, but like mission boards where you can do like a task, and it's just like I think it's just like a random generated one. Like go there, kill someone, go there and scan something, go there and like sell something, like deposit.
All right. I'll do it.
Just something like that. And those things pay out like 2k, and it's like I'm not doing that for that. It's not worth it like at all. So I assume that it'll be like stuff like that they'll probably sort out.
Have you taken any note of like rarity? Because I've gotten a legendary weapon like pretty like, immediately, and I get the feeling
that's a fucking surprise.
Intended. Or is that not intended?
I have not gotten a legendary yet. I've gotten like a couple purples, and blues are fairly common.
As in,
like,
it
any
surprises
enemy
me that that's
has,
a
like,
thing. By
red
the way,
bars. Like if they're on the more tanky side of things, they're going to drop something fancy. But I've yet to get a legendary.
It does surprise me that that's a thing. At all. Rarity.
Well, I think rarity is done pretty well. It's just like modifiers we'll go with.
Yeah, I've got one that's
And,
like
like, the higher
demoralized, I
rarity, the
think
more
it
of
is, which is pretty funny.
Yeah.
It demoralizes people. I don't really notice that take effect, but
You probably just makes them like flee.
oh, that's what I assume.
There's like a skill that does that.
Just what I assume.
But there's I don't know. I'll read some of my ones.
I feel sorry for you, Nathaniel, because high voltage crossover is bad. You need to shed that skin.
There's like the basic bitch ones, like anti-personnel plus damage against humans, which I assume there's one for like aliens and all that as well. Bashing I quite like, doubles bash damage. For like I got it on my shotgun, so like I'd shoot the shotgun and then just bash the head in, and it would normally like one shot everything. Well, not one shot, but one combo. Before I'd need reloading.
One shot, one kill.
I got a poisoning UC naval cutlass, which the poison randomly deals poison damage and slows the target.
Wow!
And it's an epic, so I've also got instigating, deals double damage to targets with full health. It's just stuff like that. And normal, common ass shit doesn't have any of them. Assume it's rare, like the blue one would have one. Epic purple 2, and the legendary had 3.
Epic purple.
And with that, like, I basically, it's like, because there's also like, modifying it yourself as well. Like you can like put on muzzles and mag sizes and do all that stuff. And I'm not gonna fuck with that until I find like a good weapon that's legendary. Like something like just a weapon I like, and then like with good modifiers. Like a shotgun with bashing and I don't know, some other bollocks on it.
Hold on. Did you think about how I don't know, shoddy the start is? Like from a story perspective. it's so
It wasn't great.
like you find this whatever it is, and it's like it's just so hard to believe that no one else had already found it. It was so, I don't know, muted.
Well, they just blew it open. But I agree with you. It wasn't grand by any means. Which I would argue Bethesda tends to succumb to that. I mean, making things overly grand. Like, in Fallout 4, the fact that they gave you the fucking power armor and you fought a Deathclaw with a minigun within like the arguable tutorial of the game.
Did you
was
like
kinda
lose
stupid.
the power armor like forcibly?
No, as long as you can fuel it, you keep it for the rest of the game. They really like power armor is like viable in Fallout 4
don't really
for
like
the entire thing,
power
no matter your build.
I never really wanted to use it. I played Fallout 3.
I engaged with it when I played like properly the first time, like when I played it like a lot. Like I actually like because I was doing like a guerrilla build essentially. I was trying to find the deep proc weapons, and I thought they'd use the power armor. But otherwise, yeah, I don't know. It's a kind of annoying. But yeah, this time they kind of didn't do much of the dramatics. At least then, they kind of brought it back with one of the missions that you would do early on, like your first quest with one of the factions. It's like really grand for no good reason.
Hell yeah.
Like it's one of those things where it's instantly like you on your first mission have stumbled across something that is dangerous to the entire galaxy kind of situation. Now even though you literally just started, it's like a whole thing, which isn't the end of the world, but they could have like.
I mean, I don't think that is what I'm about to talk about. But it annoys me when people say things like, it's a very basic thing, and it's kind of gone away actually. But it's a criticism that often used for like just for stories sometimes, where it's like, oh, why did the main character happen to stumble across this thing or whatever? Really basic criticism. It's like, do you want to know why they're the main character? We're not following them because they're not going to stumble across something. That's the reason why the story is following this character in the first place.
Yeah.
So it just doesn't make sense.
Like that's like yeah. No, I fucking hate that.
Would it be better for them if it started
like,
with the character stumbling across the thing? No.
Yeah. Well, and it's not just that as well. Like it's better that it starts with essentially the thing, right? Like with the main character, especially in games, right? If you're the main character, you want to start with the inciting incident.
Well, yeah. I mean, games definitely.
Because otherwise, what's the fucking point? Like even the amount of time you spend mining is really just kind of all like the minimal amount of times doing like your actual job there was just like tiny. Like they really fucking got that out of the way. You had to mine like 3 things. And
the laser cutter really, it does have infinite ammo, doesn't it?
Yeah, but not infinite like time to use.
No.
You know what I mean?
Well, Nathaniel, the reason why high voltage crossover is bad is because it doesn't do anything.
That's the one.
It's just like there's no, like you're kind of right about the. Well, you're not right. The thing is, you're not right about the breakpoints. It doesn't change any breakpoints.
Well, it slows them down.
Yes.
Right. I think that's kind of an argument.
But
like it would slow down a Praetorian essentially.
Yeah. But Praetorians are not that fast. I think. Well, the thing is, Inferno can. I'm pretty sure. It's just, and you're not losing ammo. And high voltage crossover doesn't do any extra damage to things that don't get electrocuted, which is certain like a lot of high HP enemies that Inferno is actually quite good against. I mean, it just doesn't have a place, unfortunately. That one. I think it should have some kind of like electric trail or something. Now we've got the coil gun. That's my what would you say? That's my tip of the hat. I don't know. I mean, really, the breach cutter is like it's just balanced overclocks, which are bad ones, actually, which is weird. Why did you put return to sender?
Ah, probably
Oh
quite.
my god.
In fact, actually, I think that's my.
That's S. That's nice. That's nice.
Yeah, because realistically, it really was just my opinion. Like, I did not pretend.
Well, I mean,
that
personally,
was, like-
that would be the point of you doing your one on your own. There'd be no other reason if you tried to do it, not seriously, but like the same way I did it. Then you shouldn't. You can't. I don't think.
Well, I would say. Would you say that like you won't? Would you say you like something despite it being bad, or would you like something based on it being good?
Oh, I mean, I don't really like. Well, I don't. I just.
Like, does something have to be good for you
Usually.
to like it?
But that's not like inherently why I like it. It's more so that I usually end up disliking things that are bad because they're bad. Like I do dislike Fat Boy, for example.
Yeah,
It is fun, but I don't
I
like
don't remember
it.
rating Fat Boy.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine what
There
you
were
would
some
do.
things that the one I did missing. 'Cause
Missing?
I did the one I did because it had the words and it had it in an order, but it did miss like some of them. There were some repeats, some just sorry missing. Like I think not double barrel, but even clean double barrel wasn't there, and jumbo shells wasn't there for the boomstick. I think there were some other things, but those were the two. I was like, what the fuck? What aren't they doing?
What aren't they doing?
But it's kind of too late.
Grabbing ammo.
Plus, there were two like random ones that were just there. I have no idea what they are. The numbers cupboard.
Well, they might have been those. They might...
I don't think it was, because they were both unstables, and one of them was obviously double barrel, but one was like unstable with like it was like the range icon, and the other one was like unstable with skull, which could be fucking anything.
Well, that could be jumbo shells.
It could be. Right, I think I used it for that because I did just kind of like, rework it, but it wasn't a great detail. But I did it, so it's amazing, 100% factual.
But you're so like, it's so not though. It's so not, though.
Well, the issue
You're
is
very aware
though,
that it's not.
There is an argument that my shitty fucking takes will probably get respected more than like yours, because yours is going to be like basically like you genuinely think these things
Yes.
are better and
That's
are
right.
right. Where mine, I literally, where it said at the beginning of the video that like I don't care if it's good. I don't actually know the exact words I said, but
Transfer done. Terrain scanner has been updated.
like, oh yeah, that was it. I 100% agree with everything I do, but that doesn't mean it's right. Like, and that there probably isn't any evidence or reasoning for some things. Good reasoning at the very least.
No.
Oh, go up, go.
Sorry?
Go up,
What
go. Go crazy. Go stupid.
Where are you deriving
I
this
don't know
from?
how much have you looked at. How much have you looked at the actual skills in Starfield? Like, if you just looked to see.
Well,
what the
yeah, and then I
options are,
realised
or you
that
just
you know
don't
you
do
can't
them
see
and
what
level
the
up?
any of the other further tiers actually do. So I was like, okay,
Sure you
no, you
can.
can't. The things you haven't unlocked.
Just click on them and
It
it tells you in
tells
the
you
rank.
you have to click on it. I mean, I just hover over the things you haven't got to yet, and it's all just like you need to unlock this.
Oh right, yeah, but if you just clicked on it, it shows you what each of the ranks in it do.
Okay. I mean,
But the point is,
Okay.
I'm really looking at this, and I think the combat section is fucking terrible. Like it's absolutely just
how many wardens? Oh,
like
shit. Oh shit.
like every single one of them are just insert weapon here does 10%
Yeah.
damage, and then insert weapon here does
I
20%,
noticed that.
30%, and then the end one's slightly interesting, but otherwise not much. And it's fucking like ridiculous on what it is as well, because it's like if you want your snipers to be good, you need to get 3 fucking tiers in with other weapons. Like you would have to spend 8 points to be able to start your like sniper one. If you're only intended to use sniper, you are now going to be like specced into like 3 other weapons that you don't even want to fucking use. It's
Why do you
dog
hate
ass.
everything to do with fire rate on the cryo cannon? Do I? Do I?
I mean, the flow
mean,
rate, the shitty.
Well,
fucking
yeah, I mean, I
overclock is
wouldn't
the
choose
fire
flow
rate.
rate either, because doesn't things like that make like cold radiance less efficient or something?
It doesn't speed cold radiance up. by
Yeah,
any
which is why I
means.
make, for example, like
so
with
it doesn't make it
Ice
any
Storm,
better.
I'm especially not taking it actually.
I think it's just a matter of never pick like flow rate or like that over like the actual just +1 freeze, which I think there is like that choice to be made on there, because there's no good reason for it, and you're essentially doing that when you pick the shitty fucking flow rate overclock over tuned cooler.
Yeah.
It's just like, do you want to expend more ammo quicker, or do you want your ammo to be better and like worth more? And it's just kind of silly. You're basically just opting in to have like no ammo economy, which is fine if you opt into it, but if your teammates don't, then it's kind of rough.
I really hope we
Like
get
the fucking
basically
flow
the
rate
same
driller.
thing we got season 4 with balancing wise. Like I loved it. Like because I think sort of scattered like mod balancing doesn't always work. And I think even if some things don't need as much attention as, like, for example, Sabata needs, I think still only focusing on one weapon at a time from that perspective makes more sense. And then they can just have fun with the overclocks, because that stuff, even if it's like, you know, less overall changes because it's not like a full balance pass on like all the mods and things like that, it's still because it was pretty much like 90% just overclocks, all the balancing. It was still far more interesting than most of the time. So I just want them to do that again and again, to be honest. That was like the best thing about season 4 as well. One of the best things. So, and it also came out of nowhere. It was all in experimental. That was so weird, but joyous. That's why I don't necessarily want them to do like new overclocks sooner than other things, because that stuff it surprised me how close to being that those changes were, to be honest. So
I missed that entire
basically
thing.
I was saying that I think the season 4 balance changes were actually cool, and it's like there's a big reason why I don't want like new overclocks over other things like it soon at all, because those changes
Yeah,
those
'cause I
changes were
think that-
really
that
close.
filled it in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
No, I'm genuinely of the opinion that like that is, if they do that every season, we'll be in a good place. Like actually genuinely like attacking some of the strongest and weakest points of gun balancing is pretty fucking rad. Like neurotoxin getting nerfed and double barrel getting like hella buffed. That alone would have been really good. Plus there was a bunch of other stuff.
I can't remember what the first one was. I think it was a double barrel thing, actually, in the first patch, and that's why it was so
Yeah, they
exciting.
started tackling double barrel like immediately.
But they still saved the Whopper for last, which was changing manual guidance cutoff completely. That was just that was good. That was good stuff.
Well, I am still of the opinion that that was them like, not apologizing or placating, just like, oh shit, let's do as much as we can in this time.
Yeah, but I think so too. But I think that stuff was received very well. So
it was, which is why I think they bare minimum need to keep it up. Like it would be silly not to. Like I can like just going off of like what we saw, it clearly doesn't take that much out of them to do
I think
it.
it's just one guy.
Like within the 2 weeks.
It's just one guy.
Of the, yeah, exactly.
Which
It
is why
right?
I really wish they would just
and
let
he
him.
did all of that in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, I wish they would just let him loose. That's the thing. but they're probably like, no, 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 no.
Inside.
Just wait, and that's fine. I think, like,
Well, I think, and I don't know about let loose, like, I assume you're referring to like just like on every
well,
update, but I think
that's
just
why. No, I
generally,
meant just
like,
let him
he's
do
just
it
to
whenever
be
he
able
wants,
to-
basically.
whenever, yeah,
That'd be
just,
funny.
just
as
every
hell.
so often, we occasionally get some radical weapon changes on like balance, like that will keep the game really fucking like
But that's
fresh.
just
Because
a
honestly,
suggestion.
that is way more enticing to load up the game and try it out than an event, right? I
Yeah,
think that'd be a lot
definitely,
cooler.
definitely. I mean, that's just a suggestion.
And if they wanted to, they could tie the two. Like, they really need to tie that kind of thing to something, so they don't just keep getting these random little like balance updates. But I don't know, it's fucking yeah, cool guy. Whoever's doing that,
It's Mike.
keep it up. Rings a bell, yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, just because it rings a bell doesn't mean it's like the right answer.
No, but I think from what I've heard, Mike sounds correct.
I tuned into the dev stream a little bit today, and there was some great stuff, like straight up, really awesome shit to hear. Because Tyler, they've got a new guy in, called Aaron. I think he's American, and his entire job is basically to basically just communicate as much as he can as possible, and like it like exponentially increase the amount of like Steam posts they make. But that is literally what he said his job is, pretty much.
First of all, I think I heard when I tuned to the dev stream a little bit ago. I think he was there because I remember him like being American. Not like I tell by his accent, but he was talking about him being in America, or like when he was in America. So I think he's been there for a little bit. But I don't want to take credit for that. But
He's really suspicious. I'm going to be honest. But because he was talking about how like, I think
What? No, because once again,
they
I don't inherently think they did that because of us, but I just think
we
we
were
were right.
we were right, and
knew
because
that. Not
they sort of
because
the other
us,
guys they spoke
just-
about how they were a little bit actually frustrated because they felt that they couldn't be as transparent as they used to be because of just how they're working now. The reason why the roadmaps were able to be so like I guess substantial is because they had a much longer feature list because there was more stuff to do. So that, and literally his job. Why can't I fucking hello? Hello. Yeah, hi.
Hey, red, white, and blue. Eh, down, 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 down. Doo-doo-doo. That song is pretty funny. It's one of those songs that people completely misread. Like it's like very anti-war, yet it's always played over like war scenes. Like, it's pretty funny. I think there's a couple more of them. Normally, like tunes, I like debate people. Like I think an example is like "Hey Ya." It's like a really happy song, really dancing. And I think that it literally is the point that's like it knows you're not listening to like the lyrics, so he's just like saying whatever the hell he wants, and like really messed up stuff, like really messed up, fair amount messed up, dick move levels of stuff. I don't know how much longer Harry's gonna be. Oh,
Hello.
bodes well.
Hello.
Go hello.
Anyway, I remember what I was saying pretty much exactly. He said it's gonna. This guy, he said it is actually gonna take some time for them to become more transparent, because what they're doing is basically working on a plan for how to give like regular like behind the scenes updates and what that actually entails, because
No, I really
Like dev
put
blog
this
stuff.
into words. I do not think they listen to us, right? They may have heard us, but they are not doing this because of us. But we were right. Like,
yeah.
that cannot be denied. They clearly saw it that way. Not that they listened to us and were like, these guys are right, we're going to do that. They saw that themselves. But
It's because
yeah.
it's because for a while, because it basically since 1.0 I think it's sort of become a little bit more like it just wasn't the same in terms of what they had to say. So it's just like, okay, but what do we say now? We don't have as much as we used to, because it literally is, it's as simple as that. So it's just
Yeah,
like,
well,
just like
it was
what
that
do we do
thing
now?
where
And that's what this guy's trying
I
to
mean,
figure
it was
out.
the
He's trying to
fact
figure
that,
out what
you know,
what do we say, and he's going to work on that.
it was they used to, like, you know, they used to have something new to talk about like every couple months, like every like you know, 3 months generally. So you would hear from them every 3 months, but now it's shifted to 6 minimum, which, you know, is not great. That halves the amount of time we hear from them. And I guess that's what they're trying to figure out. It's like, okay, so we you know, because it would be a really big shift for them, because they only ever talk about the content they have there. If they don't have any content, what do they talk about, right? Like, well, if, you know, they're hard at work, they don't want to spoil anything, so they can't talk about that. So what is there to talk about?
Yeah, and I think that's basically what it is. And
I assume that's
that
what they were
also
talking about.
confirms something nice, like, which is, well, not nice, but nice to know, is that they were struggling with communication, basically. And I can see why as
And
well.
now they've got a guide to
Yeah.
do it. Yeah, it's fair
And
enough.
also, I mean, he said that stuff specifically, like what they're planning for like regular stuff or whatever they're thinking about. I don't know what it will be, maybe like monthly updates or something. I'm not sure. But that's going to take a while. But I think they said something like that, some actual news fairly soon as well. But I would say it's probably about 2 weeks at least. And there was some small stuff, like they basically said, like, yeah, season 5 is going to be bigger than season 4, and like, things like that. And reaffirming that
And all of
the
this stuff
Stalker's
is-
definitely going to be in season
is-
5. I think they were pretty like solid on that. Well, they've reiterated it at least. And then,
I assume
did you
that,
see the rammer
that's
from the
probably
board
just gonna
game?
be it.
Um,
I have seen.
and they talked about that, and they said,
yeah.
well, that's not going to be a thing because in terms of like function, people don't realise it. That is actually just shellback, something that which I didn't think about, but it's completely true. If you sort of shellback and oppressor together, sort of fulfill all those roles. I mean, it looked kind of neat. It's sort of like a mini oppressor. But...
Yeah, but it's the kind of thing that in a board game you wouldn't mind adding. Like, because in a board game you can you just kind of want things in it, right? You would want all these extra enemies and them like looking different and doing like slightly different things in a board game. You don't want to fill up the actual video game with these enemies, these redundant enemies. Like, that's not great. So, and I think it's the same with the grenades, right? The board games had a bunch more grenades than the game.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm not sure about more, but different ones for sure. But the ones in the board games are kind of simple. It's like a stun grenade, right? It's
stun grenade, big grenade,
goo grenade.
I mean,
It's
I
the
do
basic
want
shit you say.
I want a goo grenade, certainly.
Yeah, I think they could do a goo grenade justice. Either that, or they can basically just kind of say that, yeah, corrosion's sludge pump only, and that's just going to be like a weird thing.
No problem with that.
Because otherwise, I do want corrosion to be like integrated more naturally into the rest of the game, like all the rest of the other status effects. Yeah, but no, yeah, all of this stuff is really cool. that no one would have heard of it. You wouldn't even know about it if you didn't accidentally, or not accidentally, but just randomly decide.
Which
to
is
check out
probably
the
part
dev
of like their frustration. I mean, you know, like it is cool, but a part of it is. And yeah, you're right. People wouldn't know about it if
Yeah,
they didn't
like,
tune in,
it's-
but it's still good because it's like what they're talking about is trying to figure out how to do more stuff that everyone's going to see, which
Yeah.
is Steam posts.
And I if they, you know, they do hear this, I really see no reason why they would.
Yeah, they're probably not
But, like,
watching our streams. They're probably not.
No, they wouldn't. No, of course. But like, that would be a very good thing to do one on, right? Like a Steam post on what they should talk about in their Steam posts, right? Like, what would you want to see? What kind of like we're not going to give you spoilers on the next season, but like, would you want to hear what's going on in our heads for the future of the game? Like, would you want us to, like give you like kind of more regular updates, like a Steam post asking people what they would kind of want? That would help them figure it out instead of them just sitting in their little echo chamber. Echo chamber sounds worse, like a more powerful word than I'm using. Just like, there's no reason why they shouldn't probe the community to get answers to those questions. And that's the Steam post. Do a Steam post about what the future of Steam post should be. Doesn't mean they have to listen to it. Like, if everyone in the community is like, "Oh, do this thing," they don't have to then do it. But at least, you know, communication's there.
They also said something about roadmaps, but I don't think I didn't hear anything like, "Oh, there will or won't be one." I didn't hear anything like that. But it was sort of like, it was pretty straightforward acknowledgement that it just not, the roadmaps just aren't the same. That's pretty much it. Pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised they felt that, right? Because I mean, last season even more so, with the just kind of like the fact that the new thing, and there might be a lot of this is my new headset, not new headset, my old headset I'm having to reuse, like sounds, but the fucking, I'm getting there, new enemy types being shown as the main piece of content, that probably made them sit there like, oh, because like, as much as that it was different, they've added enemies every update, right, every season, but now that's like the main thing they can talk about, and it's probably a bit of a reality check on how useful is roadmaps and how well does it suit the way that they make the game now. And their answer was probably not very well.
I would hope that I would hope that's something that guy's Aaron is thinking about, which is what's a better version of that, basically. I hope. Sounds likely. It sounds like what he's doing, basically. Nathaniel, so it's this is actually because he said it's like maybe 10 minutes ago now. I think of a good thing to talk about. What stage of progress they're on, whether it be concept, program, debugging, etc. I wouldn't say that's not necessarily a great discussion topic.
They're
I
going to be on
don't want
different
to
parts of
be
different
guessing
parts.
at this point.
Yeah, no, they're good, and plus they're going to be like, they may have already finished like most of the cosmetics, but they might only be like schemating some of the main core gameplay, right? Like, it's not all going to be at the same level, so they would have to kind of give away what they're doing to tell you how far away they are at doing it.
Nathaniel, company newsletter.
But-
That's kind of what it sounds like Aaron was talking about. Maybe that's what the impression I got, at least. So you're on something there.
Yeah, but I think that like, because they could change roadmaps a little bit, right? In that they could basically just give away like one thing.
Well, that is what they
I
were
think that'd
though
be
for like
pretty
the
fair.
past couple.
Exactly. But I don't think they need to bother saying a roadmap. They can just say like season 5, like either goal or like a goal's the word in my head. Like, where
I don't know if they want to do.
Like,
I don't know if they want to
this
call
is
it
the thing
goals
we're adding.
because that doesn't imply like set in stone. I think they want to be set in stone when they say something.
I guess that then probably not the word goal then,
Or
but like
state.
the thing they know they're adding next season, which they've always had and were willing to share. There's always been one thing, at least, that they've been willing to say they're working on, and that can be the thing that they get that out of the way right early on, and then they could give updates on that specific thing. They can give updates to the thing that they've already said they're doing, which would then you know, they're working on other things on the side, but we wouldn't know about all of them, and that all of that would be surprises and fun when the teasers start coming out. But the thing we know we're getting, we will know the status of, because that will be like our little solid thing. Like, we know they're working on this thing, we know we like this thing, and then we will know how far along they are, which will give us an idea of the season, right? Like, just having like, it's not going to be the whole update, it's not going to be close to the whole update, but just having this small little snippet part that we'll have like a grasp on would be quite nice. But either way, it's fucking rad that they're talking about that and talking about it after.
Also, sorry, Nathaniel, I wanted to get. I didn't want to leave that comment behind. It's a good one. They could take a list of small announcements from the streams and put those into a Steam post, call it the DRG Weekly, and make it an in-universe memo or company newspaper or something. Well, it's a really good idea. I think that they would struggle to like
I'm not sure about.
I think they would struggle to compartmentalize it. I think they would struggle to like look at their own streams and sort of like dictate what the right things are to take from it. I don't. Yeah, that sounds a bit weird for them to do themselves, basically. Although it would be a really cool thing at the same time. I think we have suggested that before. Obviously, the dev Q&A page does exist on the wiki, and that's kind of what it's sort of monthly, roughly. But that's not official. I think we have talked about seeing that in some official capacity would be really great, especially because I don't know, that sounds like the kind of thing this guy should be thinking about, maybe, because that's like something that they already do that they could just prop up more, which is the streams. It could give a lot of people stuff to feed on.
I mean, I think anything he does on there, he should like immediately then like at the bottom it would have a link to the stream. Like it should push people more to the stream. There's like news on this and anything else in our bi-weekly streams.
That bi-weekly thing was fucking
like
funny, by the way, because we were genuinely well, me and Tom were both half wrong and half right, and it's also dumb because it's dumb. Like the fact that it's both. It is. Why is it both of those things? Why does the word mean the thing and the opposite thing, and vice versa? It's stupid.
Yeah.
Maybe the English language
So
is
we're gonna
dumb.
need you to do this bi-weekly, and then you're gonna sit there like, does that mean I have to do something like once every 2 weeks or like twice a week? Because that's a pretty big difference. That goes from like 4 times in a 2 week period to 1, or vice versa.
Yeah.
Point is,
Silly. Silly cat.
Thanks, Bosco.
I kept asking questions though, and they never answered any of mine. Like, can we put paint jobs on the Legos and outfits?
you're on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
The YouTube one
They do.
There's less
respond
people
to it.
on it, and they do look at it, but it's not as much.
No.
Plus, you got to pick the right time,
Pick your poison.
which for some reason I just assumed you.
I was, actually.
Yeah, you're waiting until there was like a little lull.
Yeah. Maybe. I don't know.
Inventorious fool. Dawn to the clock.
Yeah. That is good news.
It's funny
Very good
because the
news.
whole thing sort of came up as like trying to, or like sort of facing what can we do when we don't have anything to say. Like these periods, basically. That felt like what they were addressing, literally. Or that could almost be that guy's
Well, I
job.
think
It's basically like, how do we...
You just then have to turn to the community once again, either by just asking them general questions like, hey, what's your guys' favorite classes? And, like, just filler stuff like that. Or just like you could just talk about, like, I don't know, doing meme of the week. I mean, that's also filler, but just, yeah, like if there's nothing on Ghost Ship side of things in at that time, just turn to the community. They've definitely got something there to chew on. Either a topic, like a bit of a spicy subject that someone's brought up, like, I don't know, female dwarfs has come back.
Jesus
like, you
Christ.
talk about
I don't think you should.
or no. Well, they did last time.
Well, well, hold on, Nathaniel,
comment,
because we would have.
obviously, but-
I think we would have said that and have said that if they don't have anything to say, then they should say that. I think they really don't want to, but they're trying to find a way to do that. But by not saying that we don't have anything to say, I think they're literally trying to do something where they can say something even when they don't have anything to say. I think that's what they're going for almost. Not that they just, not that they would just say we don't have anything. I really think they want to avoid that, but still try and give us something at the same time. That sounds what this guy's trying to do, which is, in my opinion, is ideal. It's slightly idealistic, as it really, because it is probably harder than just saying we don't have anything to say. But I just don't think they're going to do that.
I have also, Ari, I'm not sure if you've thought this step. I just did. If it's Steam posts, wouldn't that mean we would then cover them?
Yeah.
That would be out
You
very
don't think?
frequently.
Well,
Yeah.
Of course, I thought about that.
That'd get pretty nutty. If there is one of those.
I don't
every
think they
week.
didn't say anything about like how regular it'd be.
Yeah, I don't think one per week is necessary.
It's not necessary.
Nothing noteworthy is going to change within a week.
No.
But I think maybe once per month might be too infrequent. I'm thinking like once a month,
No, well,
every
you
2
see,
weeks.
I think. Now, well, you might be right, but I do think with the way that it is, with how frequent, not implying high frequency, but with how frequent things do occur in the game, like events and things like that, I think one a month could be perfectly fine.
Maybe one of them in a month is like a status report, like how's the game going, is season 5 progressing on target, are we concerned with anything like that, and the other one can be more informal, just kind of like, hey, how's it going, we're doing good in Ghost Ship, we're thinking about this, and it's like not actually relevant to season 5 technically, but they just kind of want to talk about it, like something like that. One of those each per month.
I mean, either way, this
Probably
is
wouldn't
something
hurt.
that for now we're just going to have to wait on, which just sounds kind of whack, but at least there's like clarity on it. But we're still going to have to wait to see certain things.
I can't stop.
Well, okay. Well,
really
something else we could
about
talk
how
about
fucking
that's sort
right
of
we
a
were.
bit like that, a little bit, because we didn't actually end up talking about the patch, which was perfectly fine. Like it wasn't huge, but there was still a couple of things I wanted to mention. Like, because there was literally two things in there that I obviously this doesn't make sense when I say it, but they're two things I actually brought up to trolls directly. Actually, do you remember the corruptor thing with the corruptor like hitbox on the attack, one of the attacks that I didn't shut up about? Well, that's been fixed, and also the Journey of the Prospector thing. Now that is more suspicious to me personally. Because obviously that is much more involved with trolls, and he could still
The
tell
interesting
them.
thing with that is that we know they watched that.
Oh yeah, it's also that.
Not
There's also
only
that
like
as well.
Anders finished it at the very least. You would assume, and I'm pretty sure Jacob or Johan or someone else who was ever on the podcast, not on the podcast, on their live stream, watched like halfway through it and intended to finish it, and like someone else had it on their to watch list. Like, so they would have seen it and they would have heard your.
Speaking of which, I haven't
so
heard it yet. I can't really hear anything though. I can't really hear the ambient music at all because of how quiet I have the game.
I think you would like catch it. It would be like new music, like instant.
It should be. It definitely should be. Well, yeah, Nathaniel, no, we were just talking about it. No, I haven't heard it yet. But we should be able to. Well, I mean, is that... Hold on. That patch isn't necessarily out for us. Even though it had, like, a specific... Well, it wasn't specific to console. It just said, like, you know, implemented it on certain platforms or whatever. But yeah, and the most recent one is still patch 6 for Xbox. So it's actually not in the game yet. It's not-
That'll do it.
I'm totally loaded.
Would you kind of hope that it's still pretty rare, or would you like want it to be more common?
It was just going to be just the same as any ambient track. Oh.
I guess just in the pool.
I still really think it's suited. I know it's like special, but I still think it suited like a Memorial Hall like, track. I know they think they wanted to keep it as the one, but that's what I sort of thought when I first heard it.
It's a mystery.
Yeah, we do still have delayed updates. Yes, we do.
The delays aren't as bad though, or aren't as bad, but like I think respect stuff that we only had to wait a week for the season 5 or 4 rather. That was nice.
Yeah, I mean, the week was perfectly fine. It literally just means that we can. I don't know what it means actually. It means it's a little bit more refined, but it's also what it really means is it's not 2 weeks because 2 weeks fucking blows. That's what it comes down to really. My God. I think season 3 was 2 weeks. Now it's just awful.
Secondary objective completed. Now finish the job.
I think maybe because we kind of could already tell we weren't too happy even before we played it.
Yeah, it wasn't something I wanted to really wait even longer for, to be honest. Like, I don't know. Kind of wanted to get out of the way.
Aww. Or season 3. Oh right, the core lock. And yet yesterday you implied that season 3 was better than season 4. Is that correct?
I implied that it was definitely better for the game.
Oh well, yeah, you know that.
Kind of. Like, you know, it's like the player numbers. You can't argue with that.
Well,
I guess actually probably more.
I mean,
better. Well,
the Samuel,
better for the players.
Samuel, I don't have to use it
But
immediately. I can save your
that's
build for when
actually
you,
the right way.
if you want to come back at some point. If you do come back at some point, while we're still streaming, then I'll use it. I won't just use it for going. Because he suggested a build earlier, and he's not going to be able to see me use it. Because I mean, how am I doing this mission for 55 minutes?
It was silly goose.
It's just a standard eliminate. Well, it's got.
Rock. Dun, dun, dun.
You're a silly sausage.
Oh, goopy goobers, rock. Goopy gooby gooby goobers, rock.
Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow. But yeah, I've been watching a bit more One Piece than Breaking Bad actually.
Yeah.
I've sort of just been not chugging through it. I did stop after episode 5, but I sort of watched 3, 4, and 5 in a row. Especially because you said 5 was better than 4, and it fucking hell it was. I assume it's
Yeah,
very,
that's
very
part, yeah.
reasonable to have the opinion that just as a character, Mihawk goes fucking hard, right? Is that natural? Is that a natural feeling? Is that...
In the anime, Mihawk is very beloved. I am mixed on live action Mihawk, but I've seen. I watched like the only video I've actually seen of the live action was Moist Critical because I don't know he's kind of been shitting on the anime, like not like fully, but he was talking about that, so I wanted to hear his opinion. And he think Mihawks go hard, like yeah, I think that is the thing. People liked live action Mihawk.
Yes, I do.
I would say about as much as they like anime Mihawk though. Mihawk is just a fucking solid character with an amazing introduction.
Well, I think the reason why is because obviously they have like some like powers and stuff. Like obviously you see Luffy's like stretchy powers and fucking Bucky's powers and whatnot.
Yeah.
But that's like the first time they really showed
I think
in live action like
the
anime
not-
level strength.
Yeah.
Like bullshit basically. Where it's just he just sort of cuts a boat in half with the air.
Yeah.
Very fucking sweet.
Fun fact. That Don Krieg.
Oh yes,
the
I
guy that
noticed that was
Mihawk-
Don. Yeah, I knew that was Don Krieg. So I thought
he
strange.
is actually the main threat of Baratie in the anime and manga.
So
But they just completely just
To the mule.
swapped him out.
is he like contained
With
though?
someone
Does he come
you'll
back
know.
after that?
No, he's
That's
dead.
probably how they like get away with it then, I guess.
Well, he's not dead in the anime. I think we died. I'm not sure. Honestly, some of the things in East Blue, which is like that first arc, some of the characters just didn't come back. Some of them did, like Buggy, but Huro, who obviously you know
Yep.
now, he like just never gets seen again. Him and Don Krieg are like some of the few characters that just evaporate into
So it's not like
space.
that bad.
Oda's normally really good.
That they killed him.
Yeah.
I did notice
There's
that.
also
though.
a thing that
Did they say his name though? Is it because I think it was. I only knew because of subtitles. I think. And you, I guess you just knew because he looked like him, right? I don't think they actually said Don Krieg.
who Kuro was.
No.
Oh no, Don Krieg. It does. The bounty poster appears, and I knew.
Oh, his bounce posters are pretty
Okay.
cool. Not bad. It's not. Is that a
Yeah,
thing
I
from
like
the
how
anime?
they actually like interact with them.
Or is it used? I feel like is it a thing, but it's not used in that way. So,
Yeah, it's literally.
like obviously you see the posters, but are they used as like transitions or like introductions in the anime?
No. They're actually
Yeah.
not really. Like you can meet a character like 500 chapters before you see their bounty poster,
Yeah.
or vice versa.
I also love the fact it's
You
like
know the
what's like
bounty poster before
pronounced,
them.
like what the text that jumps out is just the number. It's not their name. It's just the number, which is the bounty,
Yeah.
which is pretty cool. Although it's interesting that Mihawk does have a, unless I misinterpreted it, it's interesting that he has a bounty
wanna know why?
because obviously like he's one of the
still
warlords.
don't know it. We don't know his bounty. Still not fucking told us.
Hold on, so I didn't notice. Did he not have a bounty then in the show in the series,
Well,
live
right.
action?
I think he it is a thing. The warlords have their bounties frozen when they become warlords. In the show, it says voided, but it's technically just frozen. But stuff occurred, and I don't think we've ever actually learned Mihawk's original bounty, even before it was paused, or like when it was paused.
I get the feeling it's quite high.
Yeah, I mean, he's the world's strongest swordsman.
Oh, that was something I was thinking about because even after all of the Straw Hats are introduced, the entire crew, are Luffy and Zoro the strongest, really? In general, for the most part, like across the entire series. Across...
You have met San. Wait,
Yes,
right.
met Sanji.
Um,
Met him.
Of the first five, Luffy is the strongest. Zoro is then honestly tied. Like early on, Luffy and Zoro were actually like tied in strength. Sanji was then very close after. Like they are called the Monster Trio. Like not technically, but they're like the three strongest in the crew, basically for the entire series. Nami and Usopp are part of the weak trio.
I can
Like,
tell that.
no
Well, it's
weak.
what I picked up on. It felt kind of strange. It was like literally the first two Straw Hats introduced. The first two of the crew introduced are probably the strongest ones.
Yeah. Luffy is definitely the strongest. Zoro is second strongest. Nami got shown pretty goddamn well in the live action. Like she is not really even that strong, but Usopp has been done fucking dirty. Like, I mean, yeah, I don't know. Like, I think the actor is fine, and they made him,
I think
like very
I don't know if I
tolerable,
like the
but-
actor that much. He's actually fine. I think I saw him with facial hair, and he looked a lot better with facial hair. I'll say that at least.
Yeah, well, I don't know why they cut the facial hair, because Sanji normally has like a little moustache / goatee, but he just doesn't. They just got rid of it, which is.
Zoro has stubble, doesn't he?
That's like. No.
Okay. Shame if he did, because that's like the most like smooth person I've ever seen.
Yeah. I think Zoro in the live action is really solid. Like, he carries most of the series for me. I think it's because like the devil fruit kind of stuff doesn't really carry over very well, but all the swordsman stuff was done like really well. Like the fight scenes with the swords and that.
Oh yeah, it's pretty. Yeah. Pretty good.
But yeah, Luffy's not great.
Aww.
Just generally. Well, because, and this will only get worse if there are more seasons. Luffy's whole thing is like freedom, which is best represented in like animation, right? But you Luffy can literally do whatever he wants in animation, but in live action, just can't. Like it's just.
Oh,
it's just
well,
not how it
yeah. I
works.
mean, that's just stretchy powers, or really, this is probably the best they've been done, actually. But in live action, but even then, it's just
They
difficult.
are doing it like really well, most of that stuff. Like they have it there, but they know some of it is either really too goofy or too like impossible to do regularly. Like example with Zoro's three swords. Like he does it as often as he can. In the because he fought Butch and whatever an other name is, like the two butlers in the the mansion.
When
They weren't
when
that
the
in the
fat
anime,
guy
but,
put the
you know,
hat, like his stupid hat on, I mean, I knew this wasn't the case, but I thought to myself, oh, it's Batman. He looks a bit like Batman. It's kind of got like one of the
Yeah.
ears. I mean, it's only
Yeah,
covers
because
one
they're
half
all
of
like
his face.
cat pirates. Like, that's
Yeah,
kind
the
of
Bat
their-
Cat
that's their whole
pirates.
thing.
Yeah.
And in the anime and the manga, it gets a lot wilder. They fight on a beach. There is a hypnotist that looks like Michael Jackson that like makes everyone go berserk and stuff like that. But ultimately, it's basically what's her name? Like the woman one who actually is a guy in the anime. She does steal Zoro's sword, like he does in the live action, but that's basically like why Zoro doesn't instantly defeat them in the anime. Essentially, is because if he had all three swords, he would completely fucking decimate them. So he had to quickly take it away from him. But in the show, ultimately, it's just so he didn't put it in his mouth because they can't really do that because it looks weird.
Yeah, I don't know how you
Although
would
it
do
didn't
that.
actually
really.
look that bad. I'm impressed he got it in his mouth. I didn't even think that would be possible.
Yeah, I feel like it should have like grooves in it, like for his teeth to fit into, like a gum shield, basically.
Probably. There is probably some of that.
No, but
Because they'd also have to
honestly,
make it
just
as
from like
light as possible
no, just
for
from a
his jaw.
logistical perspective, even in like the series itself, it would make sense if the one he puts in his mouth actually had a specific way for it to fit into his mouth, rather than just him.
Yeah, like a bite mark.
Yeah,
Yeah. But
and obviously would help him as well, potentially have it there more often. But it would also, I just don't know how you would like have someone choreograph that. That's not a real thing. Like no one would know how to choreograph fight scenes with someone holding a sword in their mouth.
yeah, it's
So I can't really blame them
it
that
is really
much.
because I don't think you haven't seen him put it in his mouth for the second time.
Yeah, I have. Yeah,
Oh, you
when
have?
he fights
You've
Mihawk.
seen? Oh, okay, you've seen that. Cool.
I finished episode 5. That's where I
Yeah.
am at. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, I don't really remember. I mean, 6 is like Karate Part 2, and then there's like the end. But I lost it. But yeah, basically it turned like really anime when he puts it in his mouth like that. It becomes like two characters running past each other, wasn't it? Instead of like an
Yeah.
actual fight, which I think is an example of that essentially. Like they really can't like, because like in the anime, like almost immediately when he shows like where does the third sword go, it's him blocking like 10 Marines like swinging down their swords, and he does it with like both of his arm swords and one with the one in his mouth. They couldn't do that in live action. That make it look like convincing. Like you couldn't like apply any pressure to that sword.
Yeah.
In his mouth, or it would just come out.
It'll break his teeth.
So like, they really had to like.
I don't know if you could do it with CGI. Because I reckon you couldn't, because it would look. It could look okay, but it would never look okay with the other real swords in his hands.
Yeah, like he mentioned like when I watched the most critical video on it, like, he mentioned how like some part of it looked really bad. Like I'm not sure it's a part you would have seen. I think it was like when Garp threw like a cannonball at the ship, and like
nice.
Luffy gum ballooned. Like that didn't look great, and I agree with it. But I think the main victim was like actually you haven't seen it yet, I don't think. Maybe Buggy, essentially. When he's there, actually I think he did show a little bit, like his decapitated head, essentially.
I thought Buggy looked fine
when it's just
the
all
whole
CG.
time.
Yeah. Oh no, I mean in the actual like his episode with all that stuff flying around, it looked solid. Like they seem to really like nail like just all of it really. Like making it like respect the anime, but also knowing damn well they can't do the same thing.
It feels
so, like transitioning
it genuinely does feel quite well like thought out. It's like it feels like people who are trying to be very faithful, but also being just very logical as well about what they can and can't do. I don't know. It feels pretty well put together for like an anime adaptation, like, genuinely. Like they actually put a lot of thought into it.
Yeah, and I think it's a testament to
probably
them
is
actually
the
caring.
best one there's been, to be honest. Which doesn't make it a masterpiece, obviously, but
Which I think is genuinely wild though. Like if you think about it, like just comparing the two, Cowboy Bebop could have easily been a live action from the beginning, right? Like it is just a bunch of
my
people
impression
in, like,
is that
sci-fi.
Cowboy Bebop is not the most anime-esque anime. It doesn't.
Not really, other than like Ed or like not even like anything technically. It's just like the characters are a bit anime because it's in an anime, but like the setting, there's no real powers. It's just like simple. But like One Piece is a fucking cartoon. It's like doing a live action Bugs Bunny. Like it just wouldn't work, but they've pulled it off, and it's absolutely fucking crazy that they have.
No, I mean I don't know how they're gonna progress though with this series.
They
In terms of
certainly
how
intend
long
to.
it's
That's actually
supposed to
something
be.
I
Well, I mean, season 2 has been written.
with
I can tell you that. So
Yeah,
as soon as
and
like
the
the strikes are
ends
done,
with
they
a,
can
like a
start production.
yeah, which is probably for the best. I mean, obviously it's not the point of the strikes, but it's kind of nice that it will give them like time, right? To because like
Well,
I think
doesn't-
some projects get like rushed nowadays.
Yes, but it doesn't.
now
Well, time,
that
it doesn't.
they
But it doesn't
can't
give them
really-
time really to do anything because they can't write. It's a writer's strike as
I
well.
guess.
It's been written,
It's like
which
the
I guess
first
gives
thing
the
and the thing you would
writers.
need time
It gives a lot of
by.
people time to think, which is in my opinion is a neutral thing. Thinking can obviously lead to overthinking if you have too much time. So.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, I think the best
Plus, it could
course of
lead to
action
something getting
is
canned.
obviously it doesn't. Not that they can't improve, but in general, the best course of action is to probably stay on the course they're at because it's worked. It's worked pretty well. Probably shouldn't change.
What's this?
Just in general, they probably
What,
shouldn't.
in the live action?
Yeah, they probably don't need to change the approach. Is all I'm saying.
No, yeah, I mean,
Because it's not perfect,
they've
but
already
it's probably
done some really good
it's probably
things.
difficult to change their approach too much without making it worse. I think probably in a good
Yeah.
place.
like they're in a really they've done some really cool things, and how like Zoro's intro introduced something that isn't even like it's something that should have been around, but like Oda didn't really even think about it, which is like Baroque works. Like this was Mr. Seven, the guy who's like top half he cut off at the
Oh
beginning.
yeah.
Like the Baroque works is essentially the next part of the next arc. Essentially, it's like it's not technically, but it's not called the Baroque works arc or anything, but that's like the name of the antagonist essentially. And that's just like the foreshadowing that never got done in the original, because obviously you didn't think about it. But Zoro being approached by Baroque Works is actually something that occurred. We just never saw it. Like he mentions, like, oh yeah, Baroque Works, they like tried to recruit me once, and now they've just shown it in the live action, which is like really fucking cool. And so they're doing stuff like that. Like they are foreshadowing a bunch of characters. There's some wanting posters like I saw. That's just straight up like people, but you wouldn't see for like hundreds and hundreds of fucking things.
I do wonder how
Like,
they're gonna adapt some of the more extreme body types.
Yeah, I mean, I know they did something. I saw like a thing that was like trailer compared to the actual.
I think they
thing.
won't. What I'm saying is they won't, but I still wonder what they'll look like.
Yeah, like they've made. Like I saw like in the trailer, like
Big Mom.
some guy that was like very bigger. Yeah.
Isn't she at one point either like before like is it she starts off as like a normal woman?
Not in the show. In the show, she starts off as a silhouette, and like it's pretty funny because he knew that the characters were there before he knew what the characters looked like. So he just added really vague silhouettes, but they also still ended up looking absolutely fucking nothing like their final product. But Big Mom is Big Mom from like the beginning. She's huge, she's fat, she's old. Like that's pretty much. Like,
They'll just
there.
use those traits, but then she's not gonna look the same.
And it's not like there's already some characters that have obviously been changed fairly. Like Butchie was a lot fatter, like anime fat guy. So was Alvida.
Pretty
but
fat.
they're just fat people now. Yeah, but like within reason. But it was not within reason. Not actually sure other ones. Have you actually seen? You've seen the Fishman, right? Like I think Buggy interacted with them earlier on.
Yep.
Yeah. They look very weird, but ultimately solid. I think they did the best they could. And they basically they're probably some of the most extreme designs early on. And I think they've done a fairly solid job of it.
Yeah.
And that's the example that I saw. Is that on the trailer they were a lot smaller. Like they were like normal people size, but they looked like fishmen. But in the anime they are big, like they are towering. And so they've sized them up a little bit, it seems, which is pretty solid. But yeah, I don't know. I'm looking forward to it, kind of. It's not really like. It doesn't.
I suppose it's different. It would be
show
weird if you
for me.
looked forward to it, wouldn't it? I mean, that's an interesting idea.
Yeah, like, I've
could
seen
you
it all,
even look forward to
essentially.
it? But I guess you can. Like,
But
you must be intrigued, like, as to what things are going to
yeah,
look
no,
like
no.
in live action.
Yeah, especially with how
Especially,
much has changed.
and also especially
since-
seeing that they're doing at least a decent job. So it's just like you're going to
Yeah,
see
yeah.
at least a fairly competent live action version of all the big stuff from the original.
And I feel like I don't know. I feel like they've done a very solid job so far. There's nothing next that should throw a huge wrench into it. Like the next arc would be fairly simple, kind of actually. I mean, it like with the pace they did it, they didn't actually finish East Blue, which I mean is fair. You know, they once again that's like 80 chapters or 80 episodes of the anime in like 8 episodes. But they still haven't actually finished it. So the first and maybe second, no, or definitely just the first episode of the next one will be them going into the Grand Line. But then from there, there's a lot of stuff. I don't know. But this is the part I'm happy about. The fact that I get to talk about about One Piece. Like obviously it's just the live action show, which is different. But
I feel really bad because
gateway.
it definitely makes me less likely to watch. Yeah, I'm probably not going to watch the anime at all now. I think this really reduces the chance. Also, I don't. So the main reason I'm not really reading One Punch Man is because I don't particularly like reading on my laptop. And I probably wouldn't like doing it on my phone either. I can tell this is really awkward because it's going to make you want to buy it now. But if I had a physical copy, I would be reading it probably. And that's real because I don't see why I wouldn't.
You've got a bit of a taste of the One Piece and you want more.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, I could buy it,
Yes,
but also it just feels a bit weird as well because I actually, especially with my first interaction with it, where I've enjoyed it, is this. So, would it make sense to read it? And I think I should, but does it make sense anymore? Yes, probably, because of how much there is to read and how different it would probably be. Like if you collectively, how different the live action would probably be from the manga overall. And how you could obviously there's so much there that's going to take them first of all, they're probably fucking terrified. I don't know what their plan is with the live action because they do not have enough time with the actors at their age.
Yeah. they could. I genuinely don't think he has any intentions of catching up. That's not possible.
They must be planning on doing their own version of it, but how do you do that when they don't even know what the One Piece is? The live action, even if it ends much earlier, it can't end until the manga's ended.
Yeah, I see what you mean. There are definitely parts I can see them cutting out, which would suck, but they might.
They're gonna cut out filler arcs. Let's be honest.
Oh yeah, easy.
Because those are a thing. There are literally arcs that are filler, aren't there? So that stuff's gone.
Yeah. Although credit to One Piece, not many. It's compared to Naruto, that's 40% filler. One Piece is 9%.
Okay, not bad.
The reason why that's the case though is because they add they don't add much in the arc. They do sometimes, but normally with Oda's consent. But they stretch everything out essentially.
My knowledge of One Piece are fragments of
animation
information from friends and clips I've seen. Well, I mean, I was kind of like that till now, pretty much. I mean, I haven't really watched many clips. Mainly, the main clips I've watched was actually Gear 5 or Gear 5, whatever you meant to call it. Fifth gear.
Yeah.
Not 5th gear.
Gear 5th.
Gear 5th.
Yeah. Which, but I think that is probably his goal. Just get the layman who never would have engaged with the show to do it. Just having people take that step in a more palatable way. Because from what I've heard, people are transferring because of this. I read a thing on Reddit where it's some guy, he watched it with his mum, the live action one, and now she wants to watch the anime, because obviously he had probably talked about.
Well, I mean that's kind of weird because like I said, I think I'm less likely to watch the anime now. Although, maybe more likely to read manga. Or actually, no, not even more likely because, like I said, I would probably just, if I had it, I would read it. I think. But that's sort of quite expensive, probably, isn't it? Especially if you want all of it.
Yeah.
I'd love to have volume 1 or something though. And I could get that easily.
It would be nothing you've already seen, but
True. I know.
I think. Obviously, I mean, it would be easier for you to watch it technically, right? Because I assume if you have an issue reading it on your laptop, but you wouldn't have an issue watching it, right? But obviously, it's
I just might not
bigger of a
like it.
Yeah.
To watch it.
Yeah. Which, yeah. Although I do genuinely think that watching it makes you more attached to it. Because me and Tom watched it. And we are pretty ride or die with One Piece. James read it all, but I
wonder if he's been watching it.
Didn't really care.
The live action.
He probably has, I imagine. But yeah, at least that's how my kind of theory is that
no, I think you're completely
Yeah.
correct. I mean, it's interesting though, in that sense, the difference between comic books and novels that I've noticed.
But then again, actually, I want you to go on a point. But like, there is a YouTuber who basically was reading them. Like, she's normally a book channel, but she kind of blew up, at least on the One Piece side of things, when she started like reading the manga. And I think that is actually an important part. If you're a normal person, and that is a bit of an insult, but you would kind of need you need to watch it to be able to like enjoy it. But if you actually like reading books, there'd probably be nothing wrong with reading a manga. Right? There wouldn't be like that level of, like, you would be able to connect with them just as much as if you were watching it.
Well, that's what I was about to talk about, because I think books are actually better for getting attached to than comic books. Because
that too.
And the reason for that is, and I think it's probably going to be quite a long explanation, but it's literally just to do with the senses that are engaged, in the sense that, which is not a deliberate pun, but it's books actually don't engage any of your senses. They technically use your sense of sight to read, sure, but you're not looking at anything happening. In a way, you are when you're reading a comic book, though. But that's it. But you're almost locked into just just seeing it. So all you're getting is visual information, but it still shows you everything that's going on. So you don't have much reason to use your imagination. But with a book,
those characters like exist in your head.
Yeah, with a book, it's all imagination. It's all imagination for a book, and yet with a comic book, there's not much imagination, but there's also not many senses being engaged either. Whereas like a movie is like sight and sound in motion, and you don't have to imagine any of it. But a comic book, you don't really have to imagine what's going on, but it's also not. It's also not much going on.
Sound,
well, yeah,
right?
that's it.
That's
it's
like,
just be sounds.
Yeah.
But
and
books,
colour
it's all within your head.
case.
It's all within your head, and therefore it's also quite personal as well. And it's a pretty underrated thing. Like, honestly, everyone has like a different version of books that they read, and that's kind of insane when you think about it. How many different shows and movies exist in people's heads via reading books? It's like, you know, trillions upon trillions.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It's just like the slight damage that like doing live action stuff that occurs. Like, I think that's why some people weren't a huge fan of like Harry Potter. Like, is a pretty big example, because there's a lot of like changes in in like the live action. Live action Harry Potter sounds weird, but you got what I mean.
It does sound weird. I think it's wrong. I think people usually use live action when there's already a like a, I don't know what you would call it specifically. Media in that sort of same category, like the anime lists. It's that's why it's called the live action.
Animated version.
Yeah, it would just be it would just be considered the series, really, just the adaptation. If there wasn't an anime. What am I doing? I am so fucking detached from what I'm doing at the moment. Bizarre. I was using Neurolasso because they've been talking about it a lot, and the family asked me about it, and I think he's gone now, so I can't really actually get back to him on that. Makes me worried though about One Punch Man thing, if that's even going to happen, because like I said before, that's like through Sony.
I think the issue with the One Punch Man one is it doesn't exude people that care about One Punch Man. Because One Punch Man is so popular a product, or like, I don't know if it's popular, but like, One Punch Man is marketable, I think it's the words I would go with. Like, it's already a pretty recognizable brand.
Saitama is a pretty like famous character now.
Yeah, like I could see some suburban ass businessman saying like, "Oh yes, One Punch Man, the kids like that," and then they'll make it like a show.
Well,
right?
I remember this is a bit of a weird anecdote. But it was from very early in my course at uni, and it was like we had to like it was sort of just an icebreaker thing, kind of. You had to either you could bring the thing in, but you at the very least had to talk about like literally the idea was something. It was something to do with objects, like objects that like inspire you, basically, in some capacity.
That would kill me if I had to do that.
Well, I mean, what I picked was obviously I've got like the volume 1 cover framed of One Punch Man. That's what I talked about, and I did explain what One Punch Man was a little bit, and the professor, he had heard of it at the very least, I think, and you wouldn't. He's like an Irish guy who like studies medieval literature.
Yeah, no, you would never have heard of like One Piece or anything. And One Piece is bigger than One Punch Man technically, but One Punch Man is just that, like, it is kind of culture, like pop culture, just like actual, like normal person's pop culture. Like One Punch Man almost
pretty
got
cool
into.
that I have that. I think I'd like to actually have it on my wall because I don't really. My room's so fucking like
Look, where do you have it?
just on my bookshelf.
Oh,
My room's just so untailored. It's just so. It's not like messy, but it's so random. It's not deliberate in any way. I'd also like. I think there's maybe another one I'd like. Another One Punch Man cover I'd like. I think would probably be the first Zombie Man one.
oh yeah, that actually, I actually didn't think about bringing it up, but I caught up this morning. I had like 10 chapters to
Can't
read.
with One Punch Man. I have not. I actually I will because obviously I had read a couple chapters recently. I'm probably gonna do that quite soon. I really should.
Recommend it whenever you go for a shit. That'll be a good amount of time to.
What? I'll
sit
bring my
there and read
laptop
it.
with me.
I mean, it's slightly weirder than your phone, but there's no harm done, really.
I'm not doing that. No, if I do that, I'll
Then-
just bring whatever actual book I'm reading.
That's spreader like an overripe tomato.
Imagine reading a book on the toilet.
And it's easy. It's good. It's like it can get to wipe as well, like right there. What?
Fair enough.
I'm currently reading what is it called? J.R.R. Tolkien, Author of the Century, by Tom Shippey, and it's not. I don't know what it is because it's not a biography. Because sometimes I do sort of after pretty much in between every 2 or 3 fiction books, I'll read something non-fiction actually, which is probably a bit weird to some people.
Certainly sounds boring.
It is.
I can only get behind
it can be.
fiction books.
It can be, but it isn't always. Especially when it was Brian Blessed's biography. That was pretty great.
That's because that shit's essentially fiction. Some
It's,
fictions
the thing
are
is,
more
well, no,
realistic.
it's not though, is it? But it's like close to. It feels almost
Yeah.
fictional.
Like
Christopher
some
Lee would
fiction
be
is
similar
like
as well.
more boring and more mundane than the shit that Brian Blessed got up to.
Yeah. I mean, still, it's the thing I've clung on to. Him like officiating the ceremony of like handing Hong Kong over back to China. He, like, it's absurd. Because he was that close with like people in the government. Oh, I don't know if it was that close. They just like admired him.
Exemplary work. You've achieved your
They
objective.
just like him a lot. They were just like, hey Brian, come do this. Oh,
It'll be a meme.
Picking up heavy activity near
What?
hold the line until the escape
It will be a
You
meme.
give Hong Kong back to.
Well, he didn't.
to China.
He didn't do it. It wasn't his decision. It was.
What? I thought he was the mayor of Hong Kong.
Oh, no, no, no. He's Brian Blessed. Norm Macdonald wrote. I don't even know if he called it. You can't really call it his biography because he wrote a book about himself, but it's just completely made up. The entire thing.
Who is he? Who is McDonald?
9/11.
So he's a comedian.
Yes.
I'll do it then.
He's the one who tells like really long jokes with like really like deliberately piss poor punchlines. And like literally sometimes his goal is literally to get people to laugh because they don't understand why they would laugh. He literally just like finish a really shitty joke and just stand there and they'll be like, wait, was that supposed to be the joke? And then that's sort of sometimes where the comedy comes from. And it's completely deliberate. He was so self-aware.
Is he like, I think, is he someone that would just like appear on a clip of a podcast or something?
Yes.
Is he? Alright. I think I may have seen
Like
him in that context.
and it's sort of things, really weird things like I mean, literally just a really an interesting example. Basically, just a one-liner of his would be like, "Yeah, you know that Hitler guy, what a jerk." And that's it. That's the joke. Did you hear that the crocodile hunter killed? He died. And I was like, "What? The crocodile hunter got killed? Really?"
Pod arrives, waiting for takeoff. Drop pod departing in T-minus 3 minutes.
Oh no. Funny guy. Funny, like, in the sense, he was just a funny, like, specimen.
But yeah, you'd have to be to tell those kind of jokes.
The funny person, like him,
Yeah,
his
like,
like
it's
voice
just like,
and personality and what he is interesting to people.
it's like Milton Jones, right? Like his jokes obviously are fairly funny, but they're ultimately just puns. You've got to be the right kind of guy that can tell like 19 puns in order and have people like not be pissed
I
at
haven't
you.
watched any like
right?
Milton Jones stuff in a while.
There's only one. Well, there's two. There's like Mock the
Well,
Week.
there'll be like Mock the
like,
Week compilations. Yeah.
Yeah, there's like that. There's like a mega one of that, and then there's like his like Lion Tamer special, which we had on like disc, which I think is on YouTube. That's like it. That's all he's ever done.
That's all he'll ever do. Oh no, I've got some notifications on Reddit. I hate it when that happens. It's usually people being like, oh no. Also,
What did you think? You know you can't be thinking, Aaron. Okay. Hooray! Dun 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 dun
Your assignment
dun
bonus
dun
is
dun.
within reach. Just one more mission to complete.
no, I'm just reading our like what you call prosecutors on Reddit.
What? What? Someone commented on a thing you posted recently or something?
No, it's on the podcast. It was like, I love this one. It says, cheap sensationalism from Barrel Vision? Say it ain't so.
So it ain't so.
Oh, no, wait, that's part of the course. That's what he said after that.
Should I be checking them out? Oh shit, I think my phone needed to charge ages ago. Oh, 6%.
Chariot awaits, gentlemen. Move out.
And this guy's pretty interesting. Yeah, I love listening to entitled wanker scramp survivors complain about free things. I also love that term,
What?
wanker scramp.
Entitled. Oh, like wanker scramp. Well, if it helps, like we also don't like complaining for like 2 hours. Would much prefer like being happy.
Well, we don't
right?
have to. In 2 hours, but we did.
Yeah, but you know, it's like if we had something good to talk about, we'd probably not have complained. But we had nothing slash mainly we had nothing to talk about, and so we talked about why that pissed us off. How does that make you feel?
I mean, this doesn't make me feel anything because I realise that these are the people who think that we are those types of people that you described at one point, who just take really cheap shots and are just like just overly angry for no reason or entitled, which is something that I really try to avoid. We definitely, I can't deny we speak like we're entitled like sometimes, but. Oh, and we kind of we do probably straddle a line as well, though, between these people and the entitled people.
Well,
it's not entitled. It's not entitled in the sense
line.
thinking we're owed, but we're still sort of talking like that, though. I do think we kind of talk as if we are owed, but that's almost, in my opinion, that's actually, it makes sense as long as you understand that we're not doing it because we feel like we're owed. It's just because that helps
we feel like
put things into.
They...
Yeah. Why wouldn't they operate that way? Kind of.
Yeah. Like we just go under the mindset of like they want to make a good game that people enjoy. We find areas that we feel like they're lacking, and we're pointing them out. Like, why are you not doing these good things? That I guess that's how, I don't know. You got to be known for something in the business, though. Although I think being a moany little bitch bag is Axis Kronos' area. I'm not sure how
He's
much
got
we
it.
can...
Don't worry.
Yeah. There's not much room left in bony in there. Bony.
Let me guess. He claiming DRG is over because of Rockpox and Stingtails. Well, no. I mean, Firewall Cloaked. This is a guy who this helps me sort of be very secure about this stuff because this is just the way he is. And he also talked about. He said like, I'm not going to watch a video over 10 seconds, and then he goes on to make a bunch of like not assumptions but sort of questions, like as if is he saying this or whatever, and it's like, is he saying DLG is over? Which we didn't. I'll admit, it's pretty clickbaity title. Hate to say I called it, but when they release new concepts for free and face epic backlash from entitled people who think they can bully the people doing the actual work, I'm not surprised. I love it when it's that kind of thing as well, as if we're like not closer to the devs than they are as well. Things like that.
Wait, what?
No, it's just like, if Firewall Cloaked, he's basically just talking about us as if we are like. I should probably just read it. On another note, I'm not going to watch a video over 10 seconds on a subreddit. Is he saying DRG is over? Hate to say I called it, but when they release new concepts for free and face epic backlash from entitled people who think they can bully the people doing the actual work, I'm not surprised. If true, I don't blame them either. I can't imagine how grueling it is to deal with a small but loud portion of the base that raises hell over 3 major updates.
Okay. I mean, yeah, he's obviously like. While I don't disagree with him, he's putting it at us, which is wrong. Also, I do kind of disagree with him.
Well, it's like it's not even that we are actually this, but it's just the fact that just by default we are much cozier to the devs than these guys are. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, we're a lot. I think we play ball with them more and defend them more. But like, I don't know. I think I want to put an example of why like the whole can't complain because it's free argument is dog shit. Is that if someone handed you a free ice cream that tastes like dog shit, are you?
I mean, that's not a particularly that's not a very accurate analogy.
Not accurate to this situation, but
no.
It does say that argument is so fucking stupid. It is so stupid. Like, and I think it's also like people don't understand. Somehow people don't understand that people can complain out of a place of love, and not a place of hate. Like, we do not hate this game. We're complaining because we love it and care about it, right? In the it's it's like I don't know. I don't know an example. I don't think I need an example. Like it's just we care about this game and we want it to be in like as good as it can possibly be, and we think it's failing to meet those expectations, or our expectations, but also just generally even the community like we're slowly is slowly seeming to be the case. And so we're trying to give them some firm words. We're like parents for Deep Rock, and that's why we are entitled.
What?
But ultimately, all of this shit, I genuinely don't give a rat's fucking piss about it because we were fucking right. Say what you want, we were fucking right.
Well, that's why I don't respect these people's
opinions. One of the main issues
because
we complained about in that fucking video was the lack of communication. What do we find out they're trying to improve on? Like, the one thing we know they're trying to improve on? Their communication.
Yeah.
Like, fuck me. I'm
this
sorry,
is why,
but we're right.
Well, this is why I'm really secure about this stuff, because these guys are the irrational ones. That's why. I don't have a problem being hated on. I just have a problem with stupid people who can't take a rational approach to things. Like, as in, the guys who say, like, the sensationalism thing is actually kind of a little bit true. Actually. a little bit. Although, the reason why I don't think it is, sensationalism is usually, think about the news, how often they use, like, how often horrible things are reported on way more often because people are sort of drawn to it. That's a really basic way of explaining sensationalism. The reason why that's not true is because it clearly doesn't, like, get us many clicks. We're just doing it anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't view it as sensationalism. Because I don't think people are actually drawn to overly negative content about the game, and that's why we try not to frame it as negative, even if the conversation goes in that direction. Although
I know that we actually have some data in our pool which could be really fucking interesting either way, or not interesting, but that's also interesting. It's going to take me a little bit to find it, but yeah. All in all, I mean, we're the fucking best. That much we already knew, right?
I feel DRG is already a complete product with more free content being added. My complaints are bugs like silent cave leeches or only seeing one turret on my HUD. Nothing that will ruin my experience. Well, yeah, it is a free product, but we've also made a hobby out of talking about it.
Yeah, and
this is the result of that.
It's not. It's difficult. It's actually, I would argue, kind of wrong to say something. It's not a free product. You pay for it. It's 20 quid, right? First of all. And second of all, there are, admittedly, these are free updates. But if, over time, these free updates ruined the game, which I don't really expect them to, but if did occur,
to be fair, that's something that we haven't...
That product
I don't think that was ever an opinion we held, is that they were making the game worse.
No,
that was never really
free updates. Those free updates that we've had for years upon years upon years have steadily gotten worse. Like that's what we're saying. Like we're not shitting on the free updates. We're asking them what's happening to them. Like I don't know. Right, but yeah, I mean, this is gonna take a while. Actually, no, I know that. What will limit it down? Gee,
Shoot it!
I'm just gonna do this quickly. Some most viewed video.
Also, I don't follow it as well because I
Season
don't
4 roadmap.
expect anything.
That's why we want a fucking roadmap. Our most viewed videos, like
That's
fucking
actually
Season
a
4
good
roadmap,
point.
like 20k.
I didn't
Like,
think about
come
I didn't
on.
think about the fact in that way. The fact that that's our video with the most views is that. That's kind of funny.
All of our like, biggest stuff.
Well, it was the
Who's reporting
season 4
support.
experimental ones. That's why I want more of
Spinning
that
Death
stuff.
versus the Caretaker is the highest video that isn't a news or patch note related one. Actually, no, that's not fair. Technically, your armor / weapons showcase video is higher. I just thought that was the covering the news, but it's 40 minutes, so it probably isn't that. So, good on you for those two.
Yeah, I'd say so. And that's the kind of stuff that we're going to keep doing. And that's the kind of stuff that's actually useful to people.
Very much so.
Like, I think the stuff where it's just us sort of going on a long diatribe about our opinions, that's not the kind of stuff that I expect to get thousands of views.
Yeah. But it is the stuff that we like doing more often than not.
The stuff that I expect to get lots of views is stuff that gives us a valuable function, which is mainly just news and just showing things off. Like, I think the DLC stuff, we're definitely going to keep that up. And dev Q&A as well, because they actually get a fair amount of views. And I think that's sort of like also a middle ground as well between the things. Although we sort of dialed it back to be a bit more. Well, actually, we actually found another middle ground, which is just be selective,
Okay.
so we can talk about the points.
What's I'm looking at these 2 podcasts. What sucks about DRG has 137 views. What we love about DRG has 133.
Oh,
Ultimately showing that it doesn't fucking matter.
I do want to be careful though. It's like the more we talk about this, the more insecure it seems we are.
What?
Well, because we're saying all this because of these comments we got. I mean, you wouldn't be looking at these things if we weren't talking about that already.
What do you mean?
I'm just saying, the longer
Also-
we spend on this topic, the more insecure we probably do seem.
Yeah.
But I just don't think we are. I
The
don't.
podcasts actually used to do really but it used to like when we did there was the Halloween leaks like that they would do like really solid like 300 to 200 like every single one. It's just since the /place it's only been sitting around 100, which I think is just basically starts about a month ago, so it's just basically it can't be asked of Deep Rock, I think.
Who knows? I might claim that sting cells are ruining the game. I find them fucking annoying recently. Christ. They are painful. Genuinely. They are alone represent a pretty big difficulty spike. Weird.
I
think they really do.
To be a bit rare.
I mean, I don't think I'd rather they just be. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think that would be what I want to change about them.
If I had a credit for every time I deposited, I would be a rich dwarf.
Tough.
Oh, okay. Woe is me.
Hey, wait,
Hold on a
there,
minute.
Charlie.
I'm gonna die. You're gonna die here.
You're gonna die, you're old man.
Oh shit. Run!
Much better. I made a platform. Access provided.
Good.
Oh.
Watch out!
I started one of the big sort of Garden Quest mods that
Plasma buster!
I haven't played yet. Called Identity Crisis. I don't know if you've heard of this one.
Taste the picker!
No, haven't. Take it.
What?
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 At what point did you stop listening? Did you start listening? That's what I should just ask. Thankfully.
No, I don't think I did. I'm being hunted by bounty hunters. I picked the wanted, like, starting thing.
Oh god, I didn't pick any of them.
What?
What?
Did you pick any of them?
Well, I picked introvert. That's it. You mean background? Was that a background thing?
No, like traits.
Yeah, traits. I only picked one.
Alright.
It's nice. I didn't really like introvert.
Bug open!
Alright. Yeah, I got that one.
Because I really
Fucking-
didn't
I
like the
hate
sound of
ship
a lot
combat.
of them. I don't want these downsides.
Gun needs assembling. You're cute. You're dead.
I mean, they weren't great, really. It was like, most of it was just the same thing.
Environmental RNG, you say? Maybe. Maybe.
Need to get my pickaxe.
I'd say the
sharpened.
Stingtails do a decent job of being annoying in a scenario, actually.
I need you here. Never felt better. Platform created.
Tried fighting them. I died a very miserable and painful death. So now I've just paid them off.
Did you go to like any
Which I'm not happy about.
did you
but
go
at least I don't have
somewhere-
to do space combat?
on the first planet?
Give me some sugar.
Not the first planet, the second planet. Place where the lab is. Did you land anywhere else first? Crete, the planet.
I would not remember what planet. Is it part of the tutorial?
No.
Then probably not.
Oh, well, yeah.
Is it
It's
part
the
of a
first mission that
quest
you go to. It's the first mission.
line? For who?
The first mission.
Tentacle godly. My beard
What, where
senses
you
Just
have like
the first
a-
mission.
What?
You have to go to the research lab where the pirate captain is.
Captain.
The fuck?
I thought I'd just like right. So you kill the pirates and you're on the ship with the robot,
Yes.
and then you fly off, and then don't you just go to the big city?
I don't have any direction to do that.
Oh no, right, you. What?
Mule operational.
Do something else first.
Platform.
Did you?
Apparently.
I have no memory of it. I think you do actually, yeah. And you have to like, I think you deal with the evil fuckers. Yeah. And then the guy's on the roof, and he's like, "Hey," and you can like talk him
No,
to
I haven't
piss off.
actually done that part yet. That tells you how
So
far in
you
I am.
you've not even finished your tutorial.
Definitely not.
Wow. Wow.
Either way, the first
That's
thing I
really
did
worth
was
100 gigs of your story, isn't it?
yes.
Played it all of like half an hour.
Platforms placed.
I guess it's only actually been out for like 3 days.
Yes.
I thought it'd been out more than that.
2 days.
Oh, it was that Wednesday.
Yeah.
Access provided.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That not 3?
Thursday, Friday. Today's the 3rd day.
I'm totally loaded.
Yeah.
So it hasn't been 3 days yet.
It's been 3 days.
No.
It's been out on Wednesday, it's been out on Thursday, it's been out on Friday.
It's been out for 3 days yet. Still hasn't been out for
But it's
72
been out
hours.
on 3 days.
On 3
Or
days.
for 3 days.
No, not for 3 days. 43? 43 days?
You're a stain on the floor.
No.
Who do?
No.
You do.
I got the deposit.
Blue boo.
Blue poo.
Loopy dope.
Loop-de-loop. Where did that even come from? That term. Loop-de-loop.
Time to deposit.
Spinning.
Whoopsie doopsie.
Okay.
You're a nice thing.
No.
You can sprint while encumbered.
Yeah. I know, actually.
You managed to be encumbered in that amount of time.
Yep.
Impressive.
Thank
A
you.
man after my own heart.
Thank you. Thank you. I've done lots of mining, that's why.
Well, you just like wandered off.
Yeah, well, the first thing I did was land somewhere else on that very first planet, on Crete, and I wanted to see if I could. I did, and it was like this horrible place filled with horrible people, and I was probably not quite strong enough. Some of them were quite high level.
Move your tin
Yeah.
ass over here and hurry, please.
Wasn't very nice.
You really are like under-equipped at the beginning.
Yeah, I'm glad. I was glad to be affirmed of that. I didn't know how like intentional that was, but it is, as far as I can tell. At least everyone's having a similar experience if they've tried to like go off and do random stuff. It really, I can't quite believe that you can land anywhere, can't you?
Yeah. Most of the time there isn't a reason to though.
No, I guess that makes sense.
Like there
but-
is like literally nothing other than resources.
I mean, that was when I
Which
thought that's when
you
I
would then build your own base if it's a good resource.
that's when I got the most sort of good vibes, when I landed and it was kind of just nothing. Kind of. I mean, there was an outpost somewhere, but I just thought I like the environment. The environment's quite nice. the vacuum. I get the feeling there's not a huge amount of variety still.
Well, that was what I liked about that planet I mentioned with aliens. It's like it's just like barren rocks, barren rocks, barren rocks, barren rocks, barren rocks, barren rocks, and then I was on like a rainy paradise with giant mantises that hunted me down. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
it's pretty
this is
cool.
like actually new and interesting.
Want that?
Yeah. Plus, there's a lot more stuff to scan. Because you like scan stuff. You scan for like resources and like things. I mean, technically they're called resources, I think. But it's like wells or outposts. You have to scan for those.
Roger that.
More natural stuff than outposts. But in that place, I'd scan for like fauna, flora, the whole shabooey.
Shashabooey!
Another thing I tried doing, which I don't know if you probably won't try or think about it, but if you did, don't. I tried not getting the jetpack. I wanted to see it because like they were like constantly they were like talking like get the jetpack and like hyping that up, like get the jetpack, hell yeah, what, get the jetpack, you know you want the jetpack, and I'm like no, fuck you, I don't want it, and so I tried not getting the jetpack. But I got soft locked pretty quick. Technically just a side quest, but it could not have been done without a jetpack. You wanted you to climb up something and there was no stairs. Yeah. So you should probably get that as soon as possible.
Uh-huh. I think I could have done already. I think.
Probably. Not sure why else you would to get immediately. I mean, the lockpick one is a pretty good one to get earlier. Because obviously, like, leveling up the skills means doing them, and you kind of want every lockpick to count for a skill. Like, that's my kind of thing at the moment. It's like, every time I'm like, doing anything, but like, my skills fall, it kind of pisses me off. Like, I'm completing my challenges before I'm like getting skill points. So I'm often like, damn it, I'm like running around while 75% like full of inventory. Yeah, I'm not like getting the next challenge.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah. I mean, one of my I like that weight lifting is a trait. That's nice.
I want it because I pick up a lot of stuff. Right now my max is at 260. My max is 185, so I'm very well encumbered, but I'm going to deal with it. Because if I can just live with the encumbering, then I'm technically never going to be encumbered.
Yeah.
It means I can't fast travel, and just walking makes me tired, but
Oh.
I can live with that.
And you?
We'll be finding out. So far, yeah. Considering I've forgot to go to like sell stuff because I did kind of want to not be encumbered. But I've started an entire new quest, so I'm just gonna have to deal with that now. I've also changed my buttons a little bit.
What you fucking have? I mean, I tried to change jump to A, and I was like, oh no, this conflicts with something. Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, I'll change it back
I
then. I'll
changed
change...
jump to right bumper, obviously.
Obviously, you cunt.
Well, yeah. Well, because I kept pressing right bumper to like jump, and I kept throwing grenades everywhere. Which obviously, when I switched it, I must have gotten used to it at some point and started doing that again. But every time I press Y, I threw a grenade, which got me a lot of resets. I needed to reload fairly often. Marvelous where it's going. But yeah, and it was a conflict. It was like in the base building menu, to flip between the panels is like left and right bumpers.
But surely that should be a
right.
different control scheme anyway.
It is, and that's what it is. But it would be that I would have right bumper to flip through the panel, but I would also then jump if I was doing it. which wouldn't have been the end of the world really. But then I just switched that to Y as well, so now flipping through the panel is just left bumper and Y, which is a bit weird, but I can live with it. But yeah.
The truth is, the reason why I'm playing so like barely is because of that fucking frame rate. It really pisses me off because I can tell that I would really like it if it ran well, and that makes it even worse.
Oh,
That makes
yeah,
it a
you
lot
probably care
worse.
a fair bit. Because I occasionally notice it stutter like pretty badly, and I'm like, oh, but I assume you've noticed it like all the time.
It's not great. It because I can tell that it actually plays quite well. It does. I can tell that because it's like, especially with like the running and the jumping and being able to like do stuff or jump. The jumping feels pretty good, and the running around does not feel very stilted as the game. So props to them
Wish
for
that
that.
rat.
Oh yeah.
Aiming's a pain in the arse.
And also, it does look nice. It looks much better than Fallout 4, like visually. I just mean like the visual style. I still think Fallout 4 looks ugly as hell. And this
That's
doesn't.
mean.
Yeah, it is mean, but that's what it looks like.
Ah, yeah, not the chocolate.
Vosco is AI voiced, isn't he? The robot.
Lasco is what?
Voiced by an AI.
Right.
Clearly.
That makes sense, because I heard that he...
There's your name.
Yeah.
First of all.
Which apparently Codsworth did in Fallout 4.
Oh, yeah. Could have called myself Willy Lumpkin. I'd known he was going to do that. How many people are actually selecting the thing that causes the adoring fan to exist?
I imagine a fair amount of people. Anyone that thinks that's funny would do it.
So sick people are sick in the head.
Anyone that's foolish enough to think it's just a free, like, guy.
I mean, it is so.
Yeah, but he's annoying.
Yeah, it's annoying. Call me
And they
annoying
might not
fan.
know that.
And they oh right, so you think it's not? It's probably not people who actually know about the adoring fan.
Oh, I think I just ate cheese. Oh,
What?
I need cheese for research.
Oh,
And I just
cheese
ate it.
research.
Food is absolutely fucking pointless, and yet there's like an entire thing like on it, and I'm doing that for some reason. Like it at best gives you 20 health, which is fucking nothing. Well, it's not nothing, but like more on average, it gives you like 5.
Am I
which is
right
fucking
in the
nothing.
assessment that the main way of healing is just sleeping? Is that correct?
Is what, just like stim packing?
No, just
But not
sleeping.
stim packing. What? What's been as that thing?
What?
I only sleep every so often to get that 10% XP boost.
Saved by a machine, how humiliating.
The only reason I've slept so far was to heal. I didn't see how else I was meant to get back up to full health.
Yeah, health is not easily done.
Yo, the Famule! Cheese research sounds like a basis of a Wallace and Gromit short. Cheese search.
A secondary objective has been achieved. Bonus will be transferred here.
Well, you learn how to make food. it's like recipes for better food, and you need cheese and bread and onions and the
Onion.
like.
Onion.
And cheese is so fucking rare. All of it's rare.
God, that's amazing.
Everything's just chunks,
Yeah.
which are just these square foods, which look fucking disgusting.
Like that. What are you talking about? It's amazing. I get so hungry thinking about those cubes. Oh yes. Oh, I don't think I actually saw your Neuro Lasso suggestion. Oh. Make the limited duration shorter and make it have a progressively better slow the longer the enemy is locked. The enemy is locked for the entire duration of the short lock. Becomes stunned. See, that would be better. That would be better. Unfortunately, the smart rifle just needs to damage things. That's why Neuro Lasso is bad.
Legendary
Mm-hmm.
Lawbringer giver.
Lawgiver. Lawgiver.
It's the weapon I like. Explosive modified calibrated lawgiver. Anti-personnel, that's solid. Radioactive, that's probably solid. Explosive, randomly switches to explosive rounds. That should be interesting.
This is a much more exciting legendary than what I got.
And it's a marksman rifle with and it's got a bunch of stuff. A long barrel, short scope, muzzle brake. Basically, fuck yeah. For my first legendary, that is nice.
Triangulation initiated. Do not leave the triangulation zone.
Well, actually, Nathaniel, I think to chase your line, although I'm not a huge fan of it, if it was something like where if all the locks are on one enemy, it is literally immobilized, as in it can't do anything, that would be better. That could be something, especially in the
It's
Dreadnought
like
fights.
every lock-on is like 10%, and if you've got 10 lock-ons, and that fucker's stuck.
Yep. That could actually give it a good niche as well, for like being able to actually interrupt enemies that you usually can't. I think that's a very fair thing to give to just one overclock. That's not something like that should be a normal status effect. But I think there should be something that does it. Be able to like you could even interrupt like bulk decimator attacks, even in dreadnoughts and things like that. Maybe even the caretaker. You'd probably get really popular then as well. But going back to now that you're here, going back to the very original thing you said about Neuro Lasso, I don't want to see it removed. I want to see something good. Overclocks can get reworked.
Stay inside the triangulation zone. Get back in there.
Oh, shit spot, fuck.
Shit spot.
Get back to the triangulation zone.
Sounds like an X-Men character. Like the new one, Shit Spot. I think that's only because there's one called Sunspot.
Oh my fucking god, my incompetent ass. Fuck are you doing?
You what?
Fuck you.
Fuck you, fuck me, fuck who, fuck we.
I am both annoyed and really like Digifix.
What even is that?
It's the lockpicking in this game.
I haven't picked the locks yet.
It's like it's like difficult.
Oh,
Like
I've seen it
genuinely
actually.
difficult.
Fuel cells have arrived. Get them connected.
Well, it can be easy. Like initially, it is easy. It's very easy. Like you get 4 things, and they fit in there in a certain order, and you just have to get that order. Simple. Pretty quickly, it gives you a bunch of like symbols that don't fit, so they're like gooses or whatever. And then the next layer, they add even more of those, and they add another layer. And I've yet to even see Master yet, which I can only assume is going to be fun. Actually, that might have been Master. I don't know. Point is it's difficult, but it is kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
The only issue being it takes me so fucking long, I essentially forget whatever scenario was before going into it.
That sounds weird.
Sec.
Fuel cells connected. Now you just need to prep the fuel cells and the charge sequence will begin.
God. Anyway. Does Neural actually slow down attack speed? I mean, the thing is, I don't know if Carl would differentiate. That's how I would check. As in, because if speed and attack speed are synonymous, then Carl wouldn't know to differentiate the two.
So what is speed? Well.
It just slows an enemy. I think it does actually affect attack speed. From the only level of anything that I feel like I've heard about that, I would say it actually does slow down attack speed. Probably most noticeable in something like a Praetorian, I'd imagine. Or a Praetorian melee attack. Would observe it quite closely. What the hell?
Cat's gone. Where's Cat gone?
No, I didn't actually. There was a cat last night just sitting on one of the pillars at the end of our drive, moaning. I just sort of looked at it, said hello, and it said hello back.
And then you woke up.
And I woke up.
You pissed. You pissed yourself.
I had a pretty weird dream actually. I was just walking
Can tell.
through the woods home, but they were different for some reason.
It's a bad snap.
And Jeremy Clarkson was there. Like for some reason, I walked for no good reason. I walked past the Top Gear guy. I don't know what they were doing. I walked past them. The only thing I said was I said Jeremy Clarkson. So he looked like Tim Vine but tall and fat, and he laughed. And then there were like a bunch of like evangelists around, like promoting their like Mormon lifestyle or something. Oh god, I can't remember what one of them said because I had like a sick response to one of them.
I'm sure it wasn't.
Oh no, it's you know, they're just trying to like indoctrinate you into like their fucking beliefs or whatever. Just like, have you like heard of this? Are you interested in the word of Christ? And I think I said something like, yeah, I'm just trying to like. I'm literally just trying to find my way in life or something like that. And they're like, yeah, exactly. So it's like, yeah, my way is forward, so fuck off. That's what I said. So I was just going, I don't know, walking forwards, I guess was the idea. My way is forward.
I think it would have been better past you. My way is past you. I think that would have been.
I just feel so bad for Neo Lasso. It's the basis of a legitimately interesting overclock, and if it's actually its full potential, it would definitely be an unstable. But as it is, it feels more like a weird balance. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, it's not. It's not actually much of a downgrade. It's unfortunately the smart rifle to me just feels like something that needs something specific. So I can't really go without any of the big overclocks that make it better.
Do you think even if it was a clean and it just gave you the slowdown effect, you'd use it?
No, I wouldn't, because I need the things that the ones, the Executioner and those chemical rounds and Seeker rounds give me. I need those things to make it feel good. So, and New Lasso could be one of those things if it was done a certain way.
I've got that stuck in your head.
Yeah, you have. I mean, yeah, but unfortunately, unlike you, I don't mind having things stuck in my head. Not too much of a problem.
Close to keep them operational. We're expecting an increase in hostiles.
Chris Reagan said that this Starfield's like his favourite Bethesda game to play by far. It's interesting.
Well, I know very little about him. But from what I can tell, he likes some sci-fi.
Yeah, he does, and he really doesn't like fantasy in general.
Fuel cells and 50
He likes Skyrim,
Right.
but but the thing is, it's hard. I found, and this applies to you, the people who are like hard on one of those things, their reasons for not liking the other is usually really thin, or weird. And it's like, it's fine because like, you would have to have your opinion, but I feel like they don't actually know exactly why, and so when they try to explain it, it usually just comes across as really irrational, even though it's just their opinion.
Well,
So it
this is
doesn't-
why
you
they
don't-
don't like fantasy.
Yeah, it's literally just because he's basically saying like it just feels like it's always just like questing and, you know, slaying beasts and all this type of thing like every time. It's always questing. So and that's like, okay, so basically your problem with fantasy is
Well,
the
in
tropes that
sci-fi,
make it
you're always
fantasy,
on a
because those
mission.
are fantasy tropes. Well, what I'm saying is you don't really have to explain it. I feel like it's just people trying to rationalize it makes them sound more just stranger when it's just their opinion, and having that opinion's fine. And something they
genuinely-
try
I
to
think it's
explain
just
it
a matter of,
objectively, but
Do you prefer guns or like swords? Like, do you like modern day weaponry or do you like old weaponry?
I love both. I can't choose.
And yeah, and would you say you like both genres?
Yep.
Yeah.
I
genuinely
consume a
think
lot of
if
both.
if you can ask them that question, you will know what type of like fantasy they're like. They're into like the military type shit, they'll love sci-fi. If they're more you know, if they live in the forest in a medieval shack, I think they might like their fantasy.
Well, I do like very militaristic sci-fi. Yeah, I have realised I don't have a true
Does that
preference
mean-
between the two. I guess
Does that
you
mean you like? Do you think you like that, and therefore you know you really like Halo, or do you think you like that because you like Halo?
I reckon it. I think that actually speaks like a really weird like conundrums, like where do like your tastes actually form? Do they form from things you're exposed to, or are they inherent to you? Like, do I like Halo because that's always been a thing, or do I like Halo because I was exposed to it so early, and that's why I like that type of thing? I don't know. I don't
no
know.
one can know.
No. One of life's great mysteries.
Not even me.
Not even you, because you'd be the most likely to know. Would you?
And I know everything.
Shit!
What happened?
I had 1 second left. I was on the salvage up waiting for the pod to open, and I went down final time. 1 second left.
Ah.
That's called give up. Although Nathaniel, I will do you the service before I go of using your build. What?
The entitlement.
What?
I'll do you the great service of using your build.
No, I didn't think great service. It's more like I'll do you like the honor, or like, you know, fuck, what's the word? What?
I just killed a guy with that legendary weapon, and I one-shot him.
You didn't
and I
have to
haven't
make
one-shot
that
anyone in this
sound.
game yet.
I
It
just
was
do
genuinely
you the
not
kindness, or it's etiquette,
It actually just like,
politeness to do this for you.
is it? You think that's slightly worse?
What?
That one-shotting a guy literally like brought me to that noise in like an instant.
Yeah,
without even
I do
thinking.
think it's a problem actually. I think you're weird. All right, Eraser.
Oh.
4B. 4B. Oh my god, you're already losing me. 5C. You piece of shit, Nathaniel. Tier 3A. Okay, that's fine. Got that.
I don't know why.
Got tier 1 and 2.
Making this mistake. It's not like anyone's ever given Harry a build and he's been like, "Yes, this is good," and then liked it. It's only ever gone poorly and he's complained about it like the whole time.
Nathaniel, what about tier 1 and 2 of the smart rifle? Was that even specific? Same with the breach card though. You didn't mention any of the actual tiers. Now we have to wait. Maybe grenades well and your
When
turret
you
and
hold
stuff.
me
In your arms so
in
tight.
your arms so tight, you hold me close.
You hold me close.
Everything's alright.
Alright. Hooked on a feeling.
Bum, 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 bum. I am believing. Bum, 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 bum. You're in love with me.
If you didn't mention
it,
it's up to you. Alright, you got it, buddy. Okay, okay. Yep.
No, it's not.
Line. Shut your fucking
It's your
mouth,
build.
you horse.
You pick something. Tell them what you pick.
I'll rip your heart out. Down, 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 down.
I think it is pulling me up on it. Because I think it has a thing where, like, the lighter you are, the slower it, like, takes away stamina. Or, like, oxygen, technically. And then, like, obviously vice versa. The heavier you are, the quicker it takes it. And then once you're encumbered, it takes even where you walk. And I think it continues. Because I'm at 400 mass out of, like, 185. And it does not take much for it to drain, like, quick.
Peanut butter. Pretty fucked up when you think about it. Okay, looks like they just
You
put
were
out.
fucked up.
Looks like they just put out patch number 7 again.
Okay.
Probably
case no one
supposed to
saw the
be
first
patch
one.
number 8. No, because it's different. Fixed a bug that
I
caused
also don't think headshots
corruptors
are a thing in this game. Which
plague
is quite weird.
puddles to not be removed when vacuumed. Added missing prices for Season 3 Forge items. Fixed a bug that caused the oppressor and bulk detonator to very rarely spawn in the tutorial. Okay. Honestly, this is the kind of patch where it's like, oh, do I want to do this? But it's like, no, I've made a commitment to be a reliable source. Right, Nathaniel, that is actually a good point, and I think, well, we could, obviously I'm about to test that to a certain extent, but fear frequency. Well, okay, so what's the maximum number of locks that we can get? Max number of lock-ons is 16, then you add 6 here, so it's 23.9, which is actually 24. When you look at the description for fear frequency on Carl, it mentions the maximum as 24 locks, and 24 locks can only be achieved with Eraser, so yes, it does. It's 375% fear factor as well, which is pretty high.
Let's go!
It's quite high. It could. Wait a minute, I forgot to. Oh fuck. That's not good.
This is a salvage mission.
But
A previous
stuck with it.
crew lost their mini mules, their drop pod, and their lives in this case.
Took damage in tier 1
Find the
with the smart
repair
rifle.
mules, get the drop pod operational, and return to base. Expect heavy infestation, and try not to mess it up like your former colleagues.
What? Is that mandatory?
No, it's not, man. It's the opposite of mandatory.
Voluntary?
Okay, that's okay. I should have said that. Oops.
Down the hatch!
I mean, yeah, it's just like, I guess it's something that I think is a little bit weird. I mean, is there a good reason why a lot of some weapons don't have like really basic overclocks? Like just a basic. I mean, it is weird to me that the smart rifle doesn't have any ammo overclocks. That is strange. Why not? Come on. And why is the Drac the only Gen 3 weapon to have 7? Oh, I know. Hurricane's got 7. Hello, Vito Grubik, and I'm sorry, new. We're not looking for a graphic designer. I was gonna be straight up. I'm just gonna be. I think there's a lot of reasons. First of all, I actually don't think but I'm quite happy with our thumbnails in general, and don't really
If they
have
need a rise,
we don't
little
really
brothers
have
for
the
your
money
course,
to
not
spend
courses,
on like
college.
what?
Mitchell's doing graphic design in college.
Yeah, we'll just exploit him. But we don't.
Yeah, free labour.
Also, by the way, Vito, I actually respect you coming here and like asking like, something like that. I think you should do that. But the truth is, we don't really have like the drive.
It depends if it's
not,
a bot. Or
not that we don't have. Well, if you're a bot, that sucks. But and it's not that we have no money, but definitely don't have the kind of money where and the drive or feel the need to spend it on someone to work for us in any capacity. I don't want to do that really. I'm not comfortable with that at all. So that's that. That's that sorted.
No, the players are recharging.
I always find it odd that the GK doesn't have an ammo overclock, but then again, it has so many that I don't mind that much. Yeah, I mean, well, the GK2 is a weapon where I really wouldn't say it needs an ammo overclock specifically. And there was one considered. Like I think, and this is the thing, I do think pretty much most types of overclock do get considered at one point or another. Because it had one, it was like mini rounds where it like had a lot more ammo and magazine size, but a lot less damage, and they just cut it because it was just kind of whack. And it's the kind of weapon where a basic ammo overclock with like not much ammo but really no, like a clean ammo overclock would not be used on the GK2. No one would use that. Well, there you go, and it's not in the game. I mean, I don't know if there's any kind of likelihood of those cut ones like being the ones that they would bring back, or not bring back, I guess add at any point. I don't know if that means that they're more likely. I don't think it does, to be honest. Yeah, in fact, it probably means they're less likely to be in the game at any point. Because it's an idea that was cut out. Literally.
Oh, fuck me.
Goodbye, space lobster.
Digipix might be a bit too hard.
Music to my ears.
Did you spit? Well, actually, probably shouldn't say that. Oh!
Shredders deployed. Clifford spawns. Let's find the
Especially
destroyer.
since
Next hatching.
the tendency of doing like an expert if master level lockpick and then getting like 2 coins and like a gem and that's like it
Coins!
has not stopped being the case. Like the effort is not always worth it, which is a Bethesda guarantee, I think.
Oh yeah. Honestly, I'd say most master chests have not been worth unlocking. Skyrim.
Yeah. Mostly just do it for the experience, really.
Yeah. Titanfall 2 is being worked on. Again.
We gotta locate and destroy the brute nexus, or we will have glyphs.
To everyone's shock and horror.
At least in like
Probably applause.
Yes. Well, first of all, the private match game mode, which has been, it's just had, it was never really in beta, but it said it was in beta like since it's been a thing. And only very recently they removed the beta word from it. And also, like, I don't know how long they've been doing this, but they started like rotational like game modes, like the featured one, phasing in and out. And also, some other thing that some conspiracy theorists conjured up, but it is also a bit of a weird coincidence, is like this event in Apex right now called Resurrection, and its end date is like the release date of Titanfall 2. They've used that as well. Some kind of evidence.
Gotta wait for the rates on.
I don't know how I feel about that, because like, Respawn are a bit weird now. As far as I can tell. They don't have...
Putting it lightly.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't really know how to put it. It's weird. Yeah. You wanna fuck off, please? Oh my god. No way. Can the bullets fired by the lock break spitted projectiles? That's because they aren't usually able to hit anything except the enemy they're locked onto. Well, that's not true though. That's not how it works. They are projectiles, and if there's something in the way, it will hit that thing that's in the way. And obviously you can just shoot normally. I can tell you with 100% certainty that hip-fire shots would break spitballed projectiles. But you did say spitter. I mean, I am a bit dubious on whether or not you can actually destroy like, acid spitters projectiles anyway, but I feel like you meant spitballer because I think it's a fairly well-known thing. No, I don't think you can.
Reloading.
Core locks.
Bloody hell, you're hot to kill.
Jesus Christ, still got the fucking warnings guide. It's still there. Unuploaded. It's still...
Got a lot of videos kicking around at the moment, haven't we? Like you got your reaction video.
Reaction?
On my thingy.
What about the reaction
There's
video?
that one.
It's gone. Buried.
36, I think people saw it.
That's more than it was when I made it private. Made it unlisted, I should say.
Oh.
Drone, get to work.
Oh.
I guess some people have the tab open or something.
Loot bug down.
What?
Is that allowed? I mean, if you're in at that point, right?
Yes.
It's fucking ridiculous!
Oh dear.
There are
Well done. Mule repaired.
Did I go there?
Yeah, you did. Is it because you were peeking or something?
Okay.
That's what it felt like.
Maybe. But I also moved the controller a bit. I think this headset's not exactly great either.
No.
But at least it works. There's two doors. One
doors?
open. Like not even like not you don't need to lockpick it, the door's open. The other one, lockpicked. expert.
You
which
mean
is like,
locked?
Yeah, expert lockpick, which is one before the highest tip. That one takes me like, honestly, like 10 minutes to solve. One failed attempt, had to restart.
Oh, Charles, do you think this is normal? Do you think you're having an normal amount of trouble with
Literally, Harry, you'll see it.
I will. I will. I plan on
It's one
playing
of those
some today.
things
So
where
I actually want to play a
you're
little
like
bit.
instinctually like, okay, this has to be this, and you'll just fuck yourself over.
Yeah.
It'll become impossible, and every undo costs a digi pick. Would stick. I'm not
I
sure what it's
know
called.
I brought up blow
know
through
it's
being
digital.
made so that you can hit through a crowd into the enemy you're locked into, and I thought that you said in response that it would go through them into the lock enemy, regardless of blow through or not. Oh, you think that I said that? That's why you thought it might not be able to hit the spitball projectile. Well, no, because then blow through wouldn't be useful, right? Well, it wouldn't if that's what you're implying. Holy shit! I just got 3 play cards from Small Meteor.
That's actually cool.
That is actually cool.
The chances of that are not high.
Damn. Well, there you go. It can happen. At least we
What,
confirmed
you
that. Well, not particularly.
He was here.
What do you mean here? As in, did you think he had left? Or you forgot he was there at all?
Yeah.
You didn't think he had left, you just forgot he was there in the first place. It was his party.
Yeah. Oh, it's not.
Yeah, it
Oh,
was. It
maybe
was.
Was it?
Yeah,
No.
I think so.
He left.
Help me mind this.
Yes.
I might have left. I guess that's the solution. Boba Alien Tea. Fuck's sake.
I thought you said that was the reason blow through was not useful. Yeah, I mean, I don't remember saying that. So, I mean, if I have to reiterate, I mean, I can. Well, seeker rounds would make blow through. You don't need it with that. But normally blow through, yeah, it helps make sure you hit things. I think that is actually the purpose of it, which is weird. Actually, that is the purpose, but I think the intention is to use that to hit multiple enemies, to lock onto something and then like drag it behind other enemies or something. Then you can hit lots of them, something like that.
Weapon ready. One more. Reloading.
Never break the chain.
Never break the chain. You don't know.
I saw a video, you might have seen it too, where it was like an ultimate diggy hole, where it had like 6 diggy holes, and they weren't playing it like the same time, because until
haven't
like
seen
the end,
this.
but they were like,
Oh, we might have done
would, like
actually.
pick like the best ones, and then like play it together, and it had like obviously the original, not like the original, but the usual one. And then they had like obviously the Rune Warriors version, and that was like paired with like another metal version. But then they had like some of the like simpler ones. Like they weren't like heavy metal; they were like more calm. And
Did they have like the
it was good, it was
original
well done.
original for no reason? Because that would
No,
be
they
funny.
didn't, because that and that's they should have at the end. I would say, like yeah, where they end up like laughing, don't they? Yeah,
Yeah.
like
So
that would have been a shout.
the intention is to
But I
use
think
it
that might
like the
just
harpoon in
honestly-
Terraria. Yeah, I guess. I don't. Is that how you meant to use the harpoon? Like fire at enemies
Oh,
behind
fucking
other
hell,
enemies?
that's cool.
It drags
Well,
through
I
them.
mean, anything with penetration, you kind of want to hit more than one thing, right?
Yeah. An overclock that added damage trails to the bullets would be sick as fuck. It would be pretty cool for the smart rifle because of the way the trails would look, certainly. We propose one of those. If we did, it would have been me. I should say. I don't remember doing that. No, I remember mine exactly. Skull Masher. And premium shipping was pretty funny. That was dumb as hell though. So it instantly fired as soon as it locked onto something. Then grenade guy. Remember grenade guy?
Grenade guy. I hate that motherfucker.
Hmm.
It burns. It burns.
Anyway, I feel like you didn't finish what you were saying. If you even remember.
Basically, one door was open, one door was lockpicked.
No, not
in.
that. That was before. You were talking about Diggy Diggy Hole.
Oh, no, it's literally it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just. Yeah, no, it's cool. I can't worry about the other thing. About how I spent like 10 minutes opening a fucking expert door to get literally nothing. Like, there was an onion in there and like maybe 500 credits. I like the onion actually, it's kind of handy. I think I need onions. But still. And then I walk into this room with the open door and it's a fucking, like, there's a magazine that gives you like a permanent, like boost to your abilities. And I'm like, oh yeah, sure, this is the room that should have been in. Fucking mongrel. Actually, I said, oh, fuck's sake, and then I started telling this story. That's what actually happened. Oh, it's a potato on the side.
Potato restaurant.
Did you see the meme? You might have sent it. I'm not sure. I'm not sure where I saw it actually. Where it was
I'm
like
quite selective.
Where it's like in a base full of skeletons that have been run by killer robots for hundreds of years.
What?
A still warm chicken masala on the side, and it's like a Todd Howard with like a handsome filter.
Yeah, I showed you that directly. No, sorry, I read it to you.
Then that'll explain it. So you have seen it then.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think you even saw it. Oh no, I think you did. No, it was on Twitter, so you saw it, but I read it out. You showed you it.
Yeah, it's probably when you're scrolling to it.
It surprised me how much like just straight up porn there is on Twitter.
But it is like that. What?
What?
I didn't hear you.
Don't worry.
But I could tell it was something that you said something weird. You kind of said it like under your breath.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
Have you has your brain allocated any space at all to the backgrounds I've been doing for the patch note videos? The thumbnails.
Patch note videos.
What it is, it's the key art, and I just put different filters over it every time. Just make it look different. I actually like it. It's just like a way of doing that. And it has like the patches in front of it. Also, I think those videos are like perfectly fine because I also have like, as in, I don't think anyone can really have a go at me for them. People have tried to, but it's just like, I literally say it's like, I have no problem if you just clicking the link that I put in the description and just reading it yourself. That's perfectly fine.
Yeah, as long as you have the description, link in the description, there's nothing to shit on really.
It's partially just for some
enough,
people,
which is pretty solid.
Yep.
Like they're all different colours, so they don't look exactly the same.
I mean, that's the whole point. But it's still like it's still the season 4 key art as well. That's the whole idea, and I like it.
Yeah.
Neat. I just think they're neat.
Is this more patches than we normally get?
7. I think it's actually 8. Sorry, 8. We're at 8
it feels
now.
average.
I think it's pretty normal. Let's go back to season 3 patch 16. Right. That was on the 10th of May though. And remember, season 3 was November the year previous. And these are things that are really not season 3 related. Like, for example, season 3 patch 15 is pretty much entirely about like the Legacy Edition. And some promoting, I think it's around the time of the promotion thing as well. Like, honestly, at this point, these aren't really season 4 things anyway. I mean, they kind of are. I remember that season 4 was a pretty like clean update in that sense as well.
Yeah, no, like as far as working goes, the game's been doing pretty solid in that regard. Like, you know, before launch, there were more than content adding updates that would crash more often than it wouldn't.
I'm surprised that they're even doing more patches after the month of nothing. I thought they'd have moved on because of that. Well, I don't think these patches. I think these are simultaneous with main development. I would assume. They're not big.
Yeah, I mean, if you wanted to, you could actually kind of think it that way. Do you know what I mean? Like, what areas of the game are they patching? Does that mean that they're interacting with that? And then, like,
Well,
you could say that.
let's have a
Probably
look.
shouldn't.
This most recent one. I mean, one of them is literally just fixing typos.
So they're looking at typing things. Write that down. Write that down.
There's so much of that though. It's like fixing typos is like every time. That's like every like main update patch notes that's there. And one of them is just Corruptor's Plague Puddles, added missing prices for Season 3 Forge items. That's not anything, really. That could be them looking at putting the Season 4 stuff like into other places, like what goes in the shop, and like they have to like, you know, add the prices for like to forge those items and things like that.
Yeah.
Fixed a bug that caused the Oppressor and Bolt Detonator to very rarely spawn in a tutorial. That's them looking at the tutorial. So they're looking at the tutorial. I don't think that's something, I guess.
Yeah.
If you like.
I think realistically, I think that's what tells you where they're looking at. They're looking at the bug reports that they'd probably be getting, and new people playing as a bolt detonator in their tutorial.
That's funny as fuck, man. That should be scripted in like that, and that could happen and be scripted. It's just like, oh, you're fucked, mate, and then you die, but it's fine. You still counts as being a tutorial. I think that'd be great, personally.
It would be a real funny. I mean, is it like a Dreadnought? Would be like where I'd go.
That Dreadnought is a thing, right? The point extraction Dreadnought. They still haven't confirmed it, but that is a thing. Like everyone gets one quite early on. That feels like it's a real thing. So many people. There's like been hundreds over time probably of people posting about getting a Dreadnought, like they're quite new and they get a Dreadnought on a point extraction. That's a thing that happens.
I think that might be some. Well, obviously, I mean, you know, point extraction, what is it, mining operation, and ore refinery. They're like the only ones that can spawn a Dreadnought, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So. It's not unreasonable.
It's also the only because it's actually unique for point extraction, because point extraction doesn't normally do unique swarms. It's just normal swarms, like more frequent or whatever. Actually, remember, I forgot it's not actually that. It's just normal swarms. That so for point extraction, the Dreadnought one's the only special type of swarm we can spawn as well. So that could have something to do with it. Nathaniel, I would say that's probably an incorrect extrapolation that they're working the tutorial biome. I would love them to do that as like a non-season thing, just a random like brush it up a little bit and make it a full biome. I don't think they want to. I don't think they view that biome that way.
I would say that maybe if they haven't, they might want to revisit the tutorial. I'm not sure if there's anything specifically to do. I know that there's always been a little bit of resistance. Like, I think for some reason mining the dirt fucks people over a solid amount, right? That got Tom.
Got Chris Reagan
when he was shy. Yeah, like.
I remember that was so annoying, but I kind of got it. The reason why is because it's because like the mule, like, well, actually no, because one of the things you have to do before you need to do a starting room is actually mine some gold, and he couldn't spot the gold because he's a fucking idiot, but he thought because the mule just plonked itself down somewhere, but it plonked itself down in a way where it was very close to a wall, and the flashlight on the mule was shining directly at the wall as well. So he just thought that it's like directing him.
So he thought the mule
it.
was telling him where to go.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Not great, really, when it's not doing that.
Platforms, please.
Secondary objective completed. Make it home to collect your bonus. The mules are heading back. Follow them.
Because you think about it, like, they haven't focused on either either like the veteran player or the new player experience specifically, like at all in recently. Not like what they're doing is specific. Well, they haven't looked at the new or old player experience as a thing, like specifically in a very long time. Like they're not doing things that are specific to new players. Oh, really?
I hope that Aaron was his name, right?
Yeah.
I hope that he was fairly new to the game. Like they kind of had to like, not new to like gaming, but like new to the game where they had to like introduce it to him when he like came on. Because I'd really think it'd be really good if they had a completely fresh POV that's just there, like with them, like.
Well, I think
yeah, just like someone who's
invariably
just
is,
joined the
at least
game
in
and is
some
looking at it
capacity.
now as being part of the team.
Well, it's still fresh, like it's still like a fresh perspective, no matter what.
Yeah, either way, but yeah, because he's a new member of the team. But I don't know. I think I don't know how readily they'd have access to someone who's like doing the tutorial, right? That would be like fresh in his mind. Yeah. Hell, maybe he got the bulk. And that's why they.
Oh my
they
god.
patched it out.
Do not leave the triangulation zone, or we will lose the connection. We only got one shot at this.
I mean, there probably should be like different tutorials for the different classes as well. They could be pretty much exactly the same, except they change like a little bit of that room where it tells you to use a zip line. Change it a little. In fact, you probably don't need to change it. It probably works for all four of them. It's literally just like build platforms to get up the ledge, use a grappling hook, or drill up through the terrain. You can probably just repurpose it and literally just change like the wording of that stage, like the tips for the tutorial, and it can work for all classes. I think it's weird that it's like you don't get a choice there. You just do it as gunner, and it even has bits of like a specific gunner. Like obviously it's not, it's just telling you how to use a traversal tool, but you don't get the choice. Weird. Something else weird. I'm going to confirm this quickly after this mission. Because I'm pretty sure that you can't not be gunner, but you can use different gunner loadouts in the tutorial. Replay it. I need to confirm that though. What the fuck? Really?
Fuel cells have arrived. Get them connected to the drop pod. Roger that. Supplies are coming.
One sentry gun ready to be built.
Had a shower earlier, and
Wow.
I think the gas
Time to restart.
went out like halfway through, so it got cold pretty quick,
Nice.
and it wasn't the worst thing in the world with this weather. In a cold shower. Not that I stood under it much.
Oh, that's
I
bad
tried, because basically I just lathered up, and normally you would then rinse it off. And as though I was gonna rinse it off, it all then got cold. I'm like, well, I've still got to rinse it off. So then I literally, I'd never breathed so hard in my life. I actually started getting lightheaded. I got a bit faint.
What? Why were you?
I think I was putting myself
What?
into some kind of shock.
Why were you breathing hard?
Cause it's cold.
Yeah, I guess.
I was like,
Oh right, fear. That was the whole point of this. But not working very well.
Stay close to the fuel cells. Fuel cells at 50%.
actually got a bit of you going on here, because You know how whenever you like talk in the party, you would wear a headset that gets pretty uncomfortable. This headset is pretty fucking uncomfortable, and I don't use it when I'm not in a party. I've used the old one because it's just the mic bit was broke, and so my ears are telling me to cut this
That's
out.
something that I've never actually confirmed with you. You don't use your like you do even have like TV audio. You even do that? Is it just a monitor? I don't know.
What?
Like you don't.
I'm
you,
TV.
But you always wear a headset, don't you? You- Right?
What?
You always wear a
You
headset,
act.
don't you?
What I like? Yeah.
So bizarre.
Not really.
It is.
The only thing bizarre here is the dent in my head.
Oh my god.
I don't think I have one, but it kind of feels like I do. I try and make sure that I don't. I don't end up like
Tyler
that other
1.
Tyler.
Yeah, the other Tyler. Tyler 1. You're Tyler 2.
I'm Tyler 3 at best.
Oh yeah, sorry. There's Tyler Bates as well. The composer.
Yeah, I'm always. It is sure, like no matter what I do, it's gonna be very difficult to become the person who is like overlaps that. You know what I mean? Like, if you look up Tyler Bates.
Yeah.
Like,
Did you think that whenever
there
you saw his,
instead of him.
did you like see his name in the credits when you watched Guardians movies? And you were like,
What?
that's what he's done. He's the composer. He did the Guardians like.
Yeah,
soundtrack.
I know what he's fucking known for. Eh? That's how I caught him. I saw Tyler Bates as the music guy in
That was
the
cool stuff like Watchmen.
beginning.
What?
I think his name appears in the beginning. I think
Yeah,
he's
in the
like
opening
the
credits. Yeah, in all
the-
three of them.
opening credits. So weird.
I like opening credits sequences.
I like it if they're done well.
Mhm.
Like if it's like something else than just the words.
Like
if it's
Watchmen
just
is
like
probably
a-
the best
a-
one like ever, probably. It's
I would
incredible.
say Deadpool's was alright, if a bit satirical, therefore loses a fair amount of its value.
Hold on, you said that like, I mean, I don't think you did, but you said that almost as if I said Deadpool. Or were you just saying Deadpool?
No, I'm just saying I think Deadpool needs to be in consideration.
Probably is, but
Not that I remember Watchmen's one.
so Bob Dylan, times were changing, and it's like a really brilliant like montage of actual loads of different events setting up the world.
Alright,
Pretty
that's
fantastic.
good then. Because that's the kind of stuff I want about. You want either like, I don't know, you just want something occurring, really. Like the same with the Guardians of the Galaxy one, like he's going around dancing.
Well, it literally tracks like the origin of superheroes in that world up to them being like rejected by society. She tells that entire backstory in the credit sequence. Does the build feel better than you thought it would? Yes, I didn't expect it to feel bad necessarily. The bridge cutter pretty much always feels quite good, and that smart rifle was fine. That's pretty high compliments, by the way, from me.
Yeah, he often says a lot worse stuff.
Yeah.
You probably know by now, really.
All right, one more thing. I've got to test this fucking tutorial thing. That's a good one to use. Minus manual. Getting started? No. Oh yeah, launch tutorial. Get to watch the weird opening cutscene. Oh shit. That's not right. The space rig's missing. It's just the drop pod was just floating in space and then it suddenly like turned on. No, Nathaniel, that's not why I would bash it. It's not. I don't bash things because they're not what I normally use. I'm just very made up in my mind about what's good. And that's why I ask though, because I want. Oh yeah, look, I'm using exactly what I selected.
Let's get familiar
Asperger missile, hurricane,
Just
hellfire,
follow the
coil gun.
instructions, and you'll be an elite miner in no time.
Why is the game like smoother in here? Hallow Grotto. And it's like placed like away from the other biomes as well. Weird.
Alone in the dark.
Sorry.
I think I brought my...
Possibly, possibly. Anyway, that's going to be it for today. Thank you, Nathaniel, for being valuable, being the audience. Wasn't the only person, but still, thank you very much. Lots of nice interaction. And it's over. It's Jova. It's October. It's Overfest. I probably could have come up with a better title. I think that might be partly why.
I like it.
It's because it's called that, and it's got like "Where Season 5" in the thumbnail. I think that might be a lot of the reason why they're going off.